show. Today is the 18th of August 2023. Nice to have back again and on this our segment of love, relationship, romance, and so it's nice to have you. But before I say anything, I would like to, for some days now, things have been coming into my mind. I'm not sure if I'm coming out clear. So, if I need to, for some days in my mind now, there was some few weeks back, show asked after Mama HO. So it's been on my mind to actually bring it up again to give a shout out there that if anyone have heard about her, heard from her, should let Dr. Rudolph know. She's one of us, and for some time we've not seen her on this broadcast, nor has anyone said anything about her. Please, if you are out there, you have her contact number, please reach out to her and let her know that she's been thought of. She's been asked to care about our welfare so much. So please, if anyone knows, have a contact number. You can even send a contact to Dr. Rudolph, and he will send it to me, and we'll just give her a call to know she's one of us. Whether politics or no politics, it's still one big family. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to this broadcast that we are having today. There will be a short break for in the course of this broadcast, so that to attend to some technical issue, but this will be resolved. Uh, Also, this broadcast we encourage female participation on needs in respect to the topic, as that will make it give us a balanced discussion on this issue. So, I'm hoping that Priceless Ife, Ngozika, Isimiri, and the few women who are on this normally come up on this platform will come up and discuss this issue, because that's the only way this broadcast will go ahead. It will not be male dominated, and I am not going to sit down and be talking alone to myself on issue of love, romance, and sexual satisfaction. So I'm going to take a break for a few seconds, and I will come back to you. I'll come back to you. So even though this is not the right song to play, but I'll play it for now.
Album right here. It's called Spirit of Love. We're very pleased to welcome Majek Feshek.
Arise from your sleep, Africa. Rise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. There's work to be done, America. But if we unite, we will be free. So long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sealing down so long. We've been fooling around for too long. We've been sealing down for so long. I am not gonna fool around for too long. So long, so long, too long, too long, so long, so long, for too long, too long. Hey. remember the pyramid of Egypt, when we used to live like princes and princesses. Remember, Marcus Garvey, who was the dream for New America. Oh, remember, Martin Luther King, who was the dream for New America. They say you have the right, they say you are brown, they say you have the right, they say you are brown. Only the edges of Jah is white now. Only the edges of God is white. So long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been a fool around for too long. Sleep, Africa. Arise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. So much work to be done, America. But if we unite, hey, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long.
Album right here. It's called Spirit of Love. We're very pleased to welcome Majek Feshek. The pyramid of Egypt, when we used to live like princes and princesses. Remember, Marcus Garvey, who was the dream for New America. Oh, remember, Martin Luther King, who was the dream for New America. They say you have the right, they say you are brown, they say you have the right, they say you are brown. Only the edges of Jah is white now. Only the edges of God is white. So long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been a fool around for too long. Sleep, Africa. Arise from
sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. So much work to be done, America. But if we unite, hey, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. Friends, sit down for so long.
Album right here. It's called Spirit of Love. We're very pleased to welcome Majek Beshek.
Arise from your sleep, Africa. Rise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. There's work to be done, America. But if we unite, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been fooling around for too long. We've been sitting down for so long. I have not been fooling around for too long. So long, so long, too long, so long, for too long. Hey. Remember, long time ago, when we used to live like prince and princess. Remember, the pyramid of Egypt, when we used to live like prince and princess. Remember, Marcus Garvey, who are the dream for New America. Oh, remember, Martin Luther King, who are the dream for New America. They say you have the right, they say you are brown, they say you have the right, they say you are brown. Only the angels of Jah is white now. Only the angels of God is white. So long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been a fool around for too long. Arise from your sleep, Africa. Arise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. So much work to be done, America. But if we unite, hey, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. Friends, sit down for so long.
Album right here. It's called Spirit of Love. We're very pleased to welcome Majek Beshek.
down so long. We've been fooling around for too long. We've been seated down for so long. I have not been a fool around for too long. So long, so long, too long, so long, for too long. Remember, long time ago, when we used to live like prince and princess. Remember, the pyramid of Egypt, when we used to live like prince and princess. Remember, Madagascar, who are the dream for New America. Oh, remember, Martin Luther King, who are the dream for New America. They say you have the right, they say you are brown, they say you have the right, they say you are brown. Only the angels of Jah is white now. Only the angels of God is white. So long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been a fool around for too long. Arise from your sleep, Africa. Arise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. So much work to be done, America. But if we unite, hey, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. Free down so long.
Album right here. It's called Spirit of Love. We're very pleased to welcome Majek Feshek.
Arise from your sleep, Africa. Rise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. There's work to be done, America. But if we unite, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been fooling around for too long. We've been sitting down for so long. I have not been a fool around for too long. So long, too long, so long, for too long. Remember, long time ago, when we used to live like prince and princess. Remember, the pyramid of Egypt, when we used to live like prince and princess. Remember, Madagascar, who are the dream for New America. Oh, remember, Martin Luther King, who are the dream for New America. They say you have the right, they say you are brown, they say you have the right, They say you are brown. Only the angels of Jah is white now. Only the angels of God is white. So long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been a fool around for too long. Arise from your sleep, Africa. Arise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. So much work to be done, America. But if we unite, hey, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. Friends, we're down for so long.
Album right here. It's called Spirit of Love. We're very pleased to welcome Majek Feshek.
Arise from your sleep, Africa. Rise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. There's work to be done, America. But if we unite, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been fooling around for too long. We've been sitting down for so long. I am not gonna fool around for too long. So long, so long, too long, too long, so long, for too long, too long. Hey. Remember, long time ago, when we used to live like queens and princess. Remember the pyramid of Egypt, when we used to live like prince and princess. Remember, Marcus Garvey, who was the dream for New America. Oh, remember, Martin Luther King, who are the dream for New America. They say you are black, they say you are brown, they say you are black, they say you are brown. Only the angels of Jah is white now. Only the angels of God is white. So long, too long, so long, too long. We've been sitting down so long. We've been a fool around for too long. Arise from your sleep, Africa. Arise from your sleep, America. There's work to be done, Africa. So much work to be done, America. But if we unite, hey, we will be free so long, too long, so long, too long. Friends, we're down for so long.
Yeah, thank you. I'm back again. Thanks for your understanding in this. So I'm gonna post the link now for those who want to come in on the broadcast. Just to join the broadcast, please click on the link. Yeah, again, thank you for your understanding in this matter. The technical issue has been resolved. So today broadcast, the title is titled "Love, Marriage, Romance, and Sexual Satisfaction." Like I stated earlier, we need the female on this broadcast for us to be able to go ahead with it. It could be on the comment section, but preferably on the panel. I'm expecting Ify, Priceless Ify, Isimiri. I'm expecting the there's some comment here, so I'm going to highlight Uzo. You said this is cool. Thank you very much. Zola, thank you for the red, black, and green hearts. I don't know what that means. Okay, I'm used to red. Love, haha, I can't wait. There, I'm back now. So, Zola, if you want to join the platform, please. Good morning. As it is a conversation today or your monologue? It is meant to be a conversation, not a monologue. I can't do this as a monologue. Not possible. It is meant. It is designed for conversation. So please, man of prestige. Well, you are invited to come on the show, but we're looking more of for the female panelists to join to come on the platform for us to have this discussion. But man of prestige, you can come, you can join the platform as well too. It's not a monologue, please. For the record, this is not a monologue. This is a conversation we are supposed to have. Please, please, we must not shy away. It's not all about politics, please. Let's come and talk about other issues. Salute at to Niger, Zola, and I wasn't even born in this time. So what time were you born in? Love, romance, marriage, and sexual satisfaction is a universal language. So it doesn't matter when you were born. So, and I don't know what Kazu, you don't even have what, please, could you? You don't even have, I don't know if you're referencing to me, but I guess you are talking to a man of prestige that he doesn't even have a girlfriend. Man of prestige, Kazozia Empire is saying that you don't have a girlfriend. So, and Elo, how are you going to talk to us about relationship to Niger? Well, what do you mean? Are you, to Niger is an expert in that issue. In my opinion, I'm hearing my opinion. He's an expert in that matter. So tonight, don't underrate to Niger, please. I beg of you. Casual expert, empire, zero, etc. Yeah, these are the issues that we deal with every day, and whether we like it or not, we have to talk about it, please. And to Niger, totally embarrassing his Pan-Africanist spirit. Well, it's not embarrassing anyone. To Niger, don't let them put you off, please. Welcome to the show. Misunderstood. Who is this? His voice is different from To Niger. Yes, I'm not To Niger. I go by the nickname Electricity. So To Niger is an old player on this platform. I think it will be coming soon. I'm new, so you are more familiar with To Niger. No, like I said, I am not To Niger, as you can see The name there is Electricity. So that's the stage name I go by. So, but that should not deter you from coming on the platform. I'm expecting the ladies to join this discussion. Unfortunately, none of them they engineer, or one of them engineer this broadcast. So let me see. You said, hold on 1 second. I'm confused. Why do you have his name? I don't have his name. It's Electricity. Is Electricity not showing there? I don't have two Nigeria's name. I don't understand. Are you anyway? I am not two Niger, and yeah, it's similar. Thank you for coming in. Oh wow, you're looking good today, this evening, and you're looking great. Thank you for coming for coming on the show. Like I said, I kept my word that I'm going to run this show when you raise it up. So, and that's why I don't know what. Just give me 1 second. I just need to. Too big to run your own platform now at 290. I don't know what's. You know what? Today is not for comment. I will take some comment. I will take comment. I will highlight comment. It's simply welcome. I will give the floor for you to say hi to me and to the audience, the viewers, and those in the comment section before we now go ahead. So I yield the floor to you. Thank you very much.
Hello, Electricity. Hi, viewers, wherever you are on this planet. Thank you for joining us. This is a sensitive topic. I'm not an expert in this space, but I'm hoping that our honorable ladies will do us a favor to join us to have this discussed. I don't believe that anyone out there judging the panelists by their contribution is going to actually make changes. It's good to speak out. There will always be stones thrown at someone who speaks, but if you feel that you have something to say, please join us. Don't let it be just me, because I'm not an expert in this area, but I'll just speak what I believe in. And then you be the judge as you wish. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Isemuri, for that. This space, no one is an expert in it. That's number one. And no one can claim to be expert in it. That's number two. Number three, this discussion is not judgmental, will not be a judgmental discussion. It will be a discussion for us to talk and enlighten, particularly within the space of the description of the program. Unfortunately, a lot will depend on you, Isemuri. A lot of questions will be thrown at you, and you will speak more than me in this subject that we are about to talk about. Love, because I remember the last time we spoke, we suspended it, postponing to have a special program on it, and I said before the month runs out, we will do that. So that is what we are doing today. Someone, let me highlight. I'll highlight some few comments for you to weigh on it. And someone said, "Now waiting be this too much. Jack. It's often fun of her." It's a when Dr. Dami turn this kind. Yeah, you people are on your own. These are the things that plague us, and you call it yeah. Anyway, so it's one man went to more. The policy on this regard is set by Dr. Damages or Rudolph is for anyone who comes on the platform to have their camera on. Prior to this program, let me clarify myself. Prior to this program, I spoke with Dr. Rudolph that I need an exception to some ladies who will want to come without having their camera on. And that exception was not approved, and I respect that. So it's not something against you, as you highlighted on the private chat. I didn't set the policy as well too. I even asked for permission, and it was not granted. So there'll be no exception in this regard. Please don't take it personal in this matter. So if you have your camera on, I will let you on. I want people to come as well too, but they are shy to have their camera on, and I can't help it. It's policy. So I have to respect it. So I don't know where you want to start from, Mr. Murray, from the front, from love, marriage, romance, or sexual satisfaction. Which one are you going to start from? Like I said, a lot will depend on you. But if we go by the Kazo Empire and Mr. James. Oh, Mr. James is here. Thank God. Mr. James' name came up on the description. Mr. James' name came up on the description. I'm expecting, what's her name? Ngozika also to come on this platform, because Ngozika actually said that Nigerian men are romantically lazy. So you need to have your camera on, Kazora Empire. So please, I didn't know when I have you. Please have your camera on, then I will bring you back to the platform. Mr. James said he cannot kiss his wife in public because it is immorality. So Mr. James, welcome to the show, and thank you for coming. Our respected historian. I have you as my second century historian. So let's start with Ngozika's opinion. Unfortunately, she's not here. That Nigerian men are romantically lazy. Do you agree with that, Isimene, please?
Well, I would say yes and no. My opinion. Some maybe selfish, while some could be due to ignorance passed down by cultural values. I'll keep it short and to the point.
You need to flesh it out, because if we go by the word lazy, we usually see something for us to now say, oh, this person or this child is lazy. So what do you think, in your opinion, that Ngozika may have seen or did see as such she arrived at that conclusion that African men are lazy, are romantically lazy, are what?
How I wish Ngozika is here to actually expand on such a vital topic in relationships in society, in our society. But from my own view, from where I am, I'm believing that when she's saying that, she could possibly mean that some men, not all, wouldn't care to take their woman to the promised land, like taking the woman along. They kind of have the see the woman as an sexual motivation to satisfy themselves. Once they are done, possibly they don't put in the work to equally make the woman enjoy that union, which is meant to be enjoyed together. Nyanda by nyanda. Thank you.
uh, I will I will come back to what you said, Mr. James. The floor is yours again. Welcome to the platform. So let's hear your take on this issue, please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Please, I want to correct something. I'm not a historian. I'm a geographer.
You are not loud, Mr. James. I'm not hearing you clearly. Sorry.
You refer to me as a historian.
Yeah, yes, I did. It's just a sense of humor, Mr. James. It's not. Don't take it seriously.
No, no,
But
it's nothing wrong. I'm a geographer.
okay.
I'm a
For the
geographer.
record, Mr. James is a geographer. Just to correct the record,
Yeah,
in terms of his background, he's a geographer. I
yeah,
want the record to reflect that. Uh,
yeah,
However, on my own, in my times of dealing with you, I also consider you as an historian because you've provided us and this channel history that most of us do not know. While your discipline, your background is a geographer, as you said, which I have corrected the record. To me and to some people, you are an historian, which we appreciate greatly. So the floor is back to you, Mr. James, please.
okay, thank you very much. There's nothing wrong being an historian. Okay, now, um, you see, I was reluctant to come on board for one reason. I'm sure in one of my previous appearance on this platform, I made it known to you guys that I was brought up in Benin City. I'm not a Benin man, but that is where I was brought up. This kind of things, we are not actually brought up to, how do I put it, to discuss this kind of matters in public. You get what I mean? That is Benin, I left Benin during Shagare's administration. Up till that time, these kind of things are more or less, it is part and parcel of morality to discuss these kind of things in public. What happens between you and your partner behind the scene is not, these are not issues to be discussed in public. This is why I was a little bit reluctant to come on board, but I don't know how to put these matters. I mean, because if I'm to discuss, I will use a lot of what the English call euphemisms. I cannot go straight to the point, and I cannot go straight to the point because I have to put it in a way that will be less traditionally inoffensive. I'm sure you get what I mean. Is it Ngozika? She made a statement some time ago. I'm sure maybe what she's referring to is, you know, if the man's cutlass is not sharp, you know what I mean? If the cutlass is not sharp, then, I mean, they know what to do to make it sharper, something like that. Maybe that's what she was referring to. It's a pity I will not be able to discuss much as far as this matter is concerned.
Mr. James, I think we need to understand one thing. Yes, the matter is a sensitive matter. I can agree with you on that. Nevertheless, I don't think it's something that we should not discuss in the public space. If you go on your YouTube channel, your TikTok and everywhere, even in the church and everything, this matter is discussed. However, it's not discussed in details and as such creates or causes problem in people. And our younger ones go and learn from it on the internet. And so I don't think I can understand some of our upbringing that this matters our parents discuss, or guardian does not discuss this issue with us. As well, some of us struggle with it. It's all part of education. So there's no part of education that should not be discussed in public space. As long as we are not judging anyone, and as long as we are not condemning anyone, as long as we are not being discriminatory, and as long as, even if those who decide to share their personal experience, if we respect their personal, because for someone to come out in a public space to discuss their private life, it takes a lot from them. However, for those of us who hear it, it's the onus is on us to respect that privacy that they decided to share with us, and not to go about blabbing it. This is how we learn from each other. Like I stated earlier, I similarly also said it, that it's a non-judgmental discussion. It's an issues we face in our lives. It's an issue that some of our children face, our friends and colleagues, and we talk to each other one-on-one. But if we don't discuss this thing, we will not be able to guide each other. Welcome, Mr. Blackstone, and welcome, Mr. Moseye Osfall. Mr. Blackstone, you were mentioned in the description as well, too. And thanks for coming on the show. So, Mr. James, I'm appealing to you that I don't want you to, if you can
I'm not deliberately refusing to participate. The issue is, now, men of my age, that is my age mates, what impression of me will they have if they hear me saying such things in public, internationally? What impression of me will they have, men of my age? You know, the Beninese, they have a saying that Agbonava Anyi, that is, Agbonava Anyi, that is, you live in a world that you met. Yes, that's it. You live in a world that you met. The world that I met is different from the world you guys met. So if I'm with my age mates, we know how we relate with each other and the kind of things we discuss. But if I'm with people who are not of my age mates, there are things I cannot discuss with them. You know, you see, the Benin City is a very traditional town. For example, if, let's say, there's a funeral somewhere, or a burial ceremony, or whatever it is, if the disease is not of the same age group with me, traditionally, I'm not expected to go to the cemetery where the body is being buried. That is how we were brought up, because it is the juniors who should bury the elders, not the elders burying the juniors. That is the training we received. And that is the world I met. You met your own world, so you know how to go about it. So in my opinion, it's immoral for me, not you, for me, to discuss this kind of things in public.
Okay, you know, I will respect your,
When I was in South Africa, the then Archbishop of Cape Town, late Desmond Tutu, said that they should teach children, you know, this kind of things at school. So people criticized him. Then he now asked them a question. People criticized him that these things are immoral. Then he now asked them a question. That means he told us something that AIDS, AIDS, AIDS disease is immoral. And teaching this kind of things is also immoral. But we are faced with a situation whereby we choose the lesser of two evils. Is it better to teach them this kind of things, or we teach them AIDS? I mean, we allow them to contact AIDS. So it is left for members of the public to decide. Actually, I'm sorry, just let me be an onlooker. I'm not comfortable.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to respect, in order not to overflog this issue, I'm going to respect your decision. The platform is not balanced. We have 4 men, Mr. James and onlooker, so we have 3 men, and we need the ladies. I hope Priceless if he is hearing me, and I hope, what's her name again? The other ladies, Ngozika also. she's hearing me. Ngozika is a regular feature and priceless. And I hope, I don't think it will be fair on Isimiri to take all the questions from men, because this situation surrounds women, because the complaint seems to come from them that men don't understand what love or romance and sexual satisfaction is. So therefore, I will. It's a. I think the women should come out and defend their men here, that this is incorrect. Not if you leave it for the men, they will tell you the otherwise. So we need this platform to be balanced, in fairness to Isimili, who have come to join us. Now, Isimili, you mentioned the promised land. We're taking it from the back. We'll start. First, let's try and define. Let's see if we can define what is romance. That's the first thing we need to define. I know the dictionary there's a dictionary meaning to it, but it's subject to argument, because what I consider as romance may not be what Mr. Blackstone or Mr. James or Moseye Osford. So I will start from Isimili. What is your understanding of what romance is, please?
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Well, I believe that romance has to do with people expressing feelings of strong feelings of attraction towards another person, and they show it in their behaviors. Although the way women show their own affection differs from men, I would say. It's all about expressing the way you feel towards the other person. A union in an agreeable manner. Thank you.
Uh, Mr. Blackstone, sorry, Mr. Moseye Osford, what's your own understanding of that, please? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
My own understanding of romance.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't. I wouldn't say I understand romance, but the way I show it could be very much different from the way anyone else shows it. So my
How do you show
definition.
it? How do you show it? Educate us, please.
Okay. Well, I for one, I would not call myself a romantic person, but if I were to be in any form of romantic whatever with anyone, I would care. I would pay attention. It's not just the physical display where you guys kiss in public and all that. I don't see that as romance because that can be very deceiving. I would care, I would pay attention to the little details. That can also be a form of romance for a guy because women can complain about a lot of things, but if a guy really likes you and he's romantically involved, he will pay attention to those little details. So for me, that's the way I see romance.
Could you cite example of those little details you just mentioned? The little details that it seems some men disregard or don't recognize.
Okay, I'll tell you one. In my case, um, my girlfriend, whenever it's that time of the month, whenever it's that time of the month for her, we could be having a very stable conversation and she would switch up. And already I am very inflammable, but whenever she does that, I have known that whenever she does that, oh, it's that time. It's okay, I'm sorry. How do
Similarly,
I
do
need to
you
talk to
agree
you?
with that? That during that period, you people, you switch to something else. Is that true?
Well, one cannot generalize such because as we have differences in the way men express the way they feel into action. we as well have women respond to situations differently. But if you ask me directly, I will give you a direct answer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Maxwell. Before I continue, come back to you and Isimili, there's a few questions I'm going to put to you, particularly this. I will give the floor to Mr. Blackstone to give us his own definition or understanding. Mr. Blackstone, you said, according to the description, which you must have read yourself, you said, quote and unquote, that anything outside the inner chamber, any romance outside the inner chamber, it's not, if it's not functioning in the inner chamber. You know what you said. So could you please tell us what romance is, please? And the floor is yours, Mr. Blackstone.
Um, Thank you very much, Mr. Electricity. Before I go to the question, let me uh, refer to Mr. James from his submission, right? So, Mr. James, I know that you are referring to the time, those days when you were growing up, right? And then we should know this time the world is being pluralized, and there are so many issues when it comes to love, sex, all these issues everywhere in the world, and it has become like an open topic, both for the old and the young. So I believe that people of your age, you had a different experience, should be able to address this issue from your own experience. Not to say that you don't want to talk about it, you don't talk about this in the public domain, right? We know that today in America, in Europe, this issue has become somehow like a toxic discussion, both in schools, in the open space, and things like that. But your experience will have a lot to do. Will have a lot to guide the young ones. We have a lot to do in their decision in life, in their life. So I rather say that you should not shy out from it. So give your contribution from your personal experience, and also advise the young ones what to do in this aspect in case they come into this situation, they don't know what decision to take, what to do. So your humble advice will have a long way to go in helping these young ones who are growing up today in this environment whereby everybody seems to be confused. And that's just what I want to put on to you from your submission. Thank you, Mr. James. Okay, Mr. Lecity, coming to your question. I think what I said last time, I think I don't know, some people you misunderstood me, right? I said that if the man cannot satisfy the woman in the inner room, right, there's going to be a problem. You understand me? So romance is not only in the inner room. Romance can take place anywhere in the house, right? And romance depends how you present yourself to your partner, how you treat your partner, how you speak to your partner, how you express your feeling to your partner, right? How you touch your partner, and so that's romance. So it doesn't have a peculiar way, it doesn't have a special way. It depends how you feel, how you are able, how you know how to do it. You understand me? So it can be in different ways, as long as your expression, your attitude when it comes to romance can be able to turn your partner on. Romance is just a method, a way of turning your partner on. So the man can lead, the woman can also lead. It doesn't matter to come from any special one, right? So romance is a very important thing in relationship. It's very important thing in marriage. In fact, in relationship, in marriage, in lovers relationship, romance is very important because that tells how much you, yeah, it could be how much you love your partner, how much you care, how much you understand the feeling of your partner. So I think that is the basis of romance, and I guess that it is a vehicle by which you drive into the innermost feeling or innermost feeling of your partner. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blackstone, and thank you for the clarification. I really appreciate that for you to clarify. And your clarification actually have thrown a spanner into the wheel, and which is if the man is not functioning, whatever romance he may do outwardly outside, it's will be seen as null and void. Would that be correct?
That could be correct. Yeah.
So we understand. We some of us have heard, and we know some men. Like this is a general thing. It got nothing to do with Africa, or it's a worldwide issue. So even though this the description centers on the cases of the what Ngozika and Mr. James said, but the issue you highlighted, it's not a Nigerian issue, it's a worldwide issue. So, similarly, based on what Mr. Blackstone just said, as a woman, what is your take on it? Can you weigh in on? Remember, I said you are the lady here, the only woman on this platform, so a lot of questions will be thrown at you, and you will be the one to provide us guidance in some matters here, and the viewers as well too. Unfortunately, you are the only one here, but I believe you are well capable of. You've prepared for this day, so you came in all black.
I'm, I'm just
So,
going slow.
so based on what Mr. Blackstone just said, without a shadow of doubt, some women, some men have this issue. Some of them don't even disclose it, and and when it comes to some of them get married in the process, and after marriage they now realize that, oh, this man is not functioning. What advice will you give to women out there in facing such situation?
Well, as an African, I believe growing up, it's like things like this should never be talked about. But I have had and seen many situations that a lot of marriages or relationships have been ruined because of, I will always say ignorance, because people need to be educated. If you know stuff before you get into something, perhaps you are going in there knowing, not unknowing. It's good for you to know. And how do you know? Is it by experimenting? Every individual is different, the way they will approach things. Women by African culture are seen as they have to be virtuous, they have to dress in a certain way, they have to look in a certain way to attract a man of their dream. And a lot of weight is being placed on women, maybe possibly will make it difficult for some women to actually um, know, get to the point of knowing before you actually say I do. You have to know. Or maybe not practically, but find a way to know. There is no problem if you say you're being with someone, the person you want to be should display some qualities that you're looking for, and you should come to a place where you both can easily communicate, because you're both adults. What you are getting into is an adult space, and you should be able to discuss things openly without painting words, or it's not being offensive. Like those days, it's the taboo for women to say things, but these days I've seen that marriages or some relationships that even last are ones that are openly discussed. They can discuss things that they often have said in Africa is forbidden. You can, find out from the man. This is if it's going to be towards the other side of intimacy, you can discuss it. The man will tell you what he is looking for in a woman of his dream, because it is important. People ignore this very important gift that you have to discuss it, otherwise it's a big problem. Even even in pastors, or the religious people, the imam, whoever, as long as you're a human being, it is necessary to know and not to be in the unknown before you get into that journey. But the way you are going to find out is up to you. I'm not going to teach you that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blackstone. I would like to thank you again for the clarification, because this is a subject that has torn relationship apart, and Isimli highlighted also an important point when she went to that aspect of Christianity and pastors. The Bible says that shall not commit adultery. I mean fornication, meaning that don't do it before marriage. This is a general rule. It's not a rule that is applicable to Christians only. It's a general rule. Now, in the event that the man, let's use the word, the right word, the man is impotent, if I'm correct. That is what you meant, Mr. Blackstone. Am I correct? In the
Uh,
no,
no,
because
no, actually, not important, actually, right? So, okay, let me just put it like this. There's what we call satisfaction. Let me use the word satisfaction, right, in the inner room, right? So, if you cannot take your, well, let me use it, you cannot take your woman to Mount Jerusalem, I don't know, right?
the promised land,
The
according to it,
promised,
let's
yes,
use it similarist word.
yeah, to the promised land, and you continuously do that, and you don't care, you're not sensitive to the feeling of the woman. You understand me? Right? Then you are going to have issues in the long run. Right? And I can tell you that one of the reasons that result to um, infidelity in a marriage is this one of this is this from one of those things, right? So I believe that a man that is able to take the wife to the promised land, or a woman is able to take the man, give the man that satisfaction in the inner room, I don't think the man will look outside. Or do I think the woman will look outside? Right. So when it comes to that getting to that point of the promised land, the man have to do a lot of things to do, right? So it might have to be able to take the woman to the promised land, because I know most African men, let me put it like this, most African men who are somehow proud, let me put it like that, always have that problem. They don't care about the feeling of the woman in the inner room. You understand me? So in that case, there's bound to be issues in the long run. Let's not pretend that we are Christians or we believe this or we believe that, right? I believe that God created it for the satisfaction of both people, not for one person, right? And so in that aspect, I believe that, like Isimiri just said, let there be open discussion. Discuss about it, right? Bring it out and express your feeling, express your dissatisfaction, right? And when you do that, so and you'll be either you're able to solve the problem if the man is willing to listen to you, or the man is not willing to listen to you. So in this case, we are every relationship. I tell people, I do say something. I said most of the things that result to issues in relationship, only the man and the woman knows it. They can't tell it to the third party. Even though they are called, let's come and resolve this issue. That single thing that always causes this issue, they can't talk about it. Both of them knows it, but it's very important for them to bring out to the third person to bring it out. So they should be able to discuss this issue within themselves. They should be able to understand themselves. They should be able to resolve this issue, right? Without no favor, without pride. At least they should know that they are a family and they should be able to resolve issues by on their own with a better understanding. And I believe, and let me go to a different word. I also believe that if there's a true, genuine love, and that love that led to that marriage is still there, to that relationship is still there, they will sit down and resolve the issue, right? But one thing I also find out, let me also deviate from this a little bit. One thing I also found out that at the time of courtship is always different from the stage of marriage. And I do say that marriage begins, courtship begins when you marry, and marriage begins when you have your when you begin to have children. This uh this time of relationship differs because when you begin to live with your partner one on one, you begin to see things you don't know before, right? When you get married, when you have children, the first child, you begin to see a different person, a different lifestyle, a different thing. That responsibility comes in. So I say that at the time you call courtship, you are just still playing games. You know, when you get married, that's when courtship begins, and when you have your first child, that's when marriage begins. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blackstone, man of prestige. You're welcome to the show. I don't know who Maddy Peace is on the comment section. He said, I'm not going to highlight it. He said, I will, this platform will be destroyed with what is being introduced. Okay. The platform will never be destroyed, number one. And because we are discussing life issues. Number two, the CEO of this platform, Rudolph, I don't run any program without running it by him. If I write anything out, I sent it to him for both approval and editing. So he owns the channel. If he knows something is going to destroy his channel, he will not allow it. So it's better at times to ask for questions or to keep an open mind. It's like we're talking about politics. This is life as well too. I hope I've been able to clarify. So keep an open mind. You will learn. You will learn from it. Okay. Welcome again, man of prestige. Welcome, triple man. Now, in respect to that satisfaction uh, that Mr. Blackstone did highlight and similarly, I stand to be corrected. Every man gets to that promised land, regardless, yes or no. To the men,
You want
Yes,
me to you want me to respond?
no, it's a
yes,
general question. Yes, no, yes,
yes,
no.
yes,
So, ev-
Yeah, but it's the
hold,
way
hold
Black.
on one second, man of prestige. You know what the
yes,
promised land is. We all get to that promised land regardless. The focus is the man taking the woman to the promised land. I don't know why why our women apologize for that comment. Why our women are not coming on this show. We have uh one, two, three, four, five one man on the more is in the background. I'll have to bring him in. Uh, Priceless Ife, please, if you are there, I mean, can you please come on this platform? I'm begging you. in the name of Dr. Rudolph. This show is for women, to be honest, not men, and it's not fair on this evening. Ngozika, you started this discussion and you've gone away. Anyway, one man went to more. Welcome. Triple man, I think it's your turn to have a say to weigh into this matter in terms of the promised land. Please, thank you.
Sorry, can I just take a moment? I'll leave in
No,
3 minutes.
man on the wall. You won't do that. You have to wait for your turn with due respect. Thank you very
You're
much.
always in a hurry. One man, relax. Okay. Thank you so much, Electricity. Thank you for having me. And this is such a broad matter that should be discussed. Number one, love is in the bedroom, and that's where it all begins. And there should be balance when it comes to relationship. I'm one of those who believe that it should be sex after marriage. I believe in sex after marriage, but there has been some issue that someone asked me one day that there was a story that he heard about this. We Christians would believe that sex should be an issue that should take place not before the marriage, but after the marriage. Then he asked me, what in the sense where that these two Christian couple got engaged in church and went through the marriage counseling through the church, and everything was done the Christian way. They had a courtship the Christian way, and everything was fine. And then they got into the wedding, and they did the wedding, and they were to have their first relationship on bed for the first time on their wedding night. And then while they were relaxed in the hotel after the wedding and everything, and they have to relate. And then the lady went to shower and came back to bed, and the guy went to shower and came back, and it was like, okay, they have to get started. And within few minutes, it wasn't even few minutes, and then it was over. And the lady was a bit confused, not knowing whether something happened or not. So it appeared that the young man himself has a very, very little position down there, and the position was very, 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 very little, that the lady didn't understand what happened. And then in that case, that means that she had to live with that all her life. There wouldn't be satisfaction. And he was asking me, in that case, if that lady is to be your sister, or what are you going to do? What are you going to advise that lady to do when she didn't know that position? Was it not right that they discuss such things? So, and I said, that's why sometimes it's good to discuss it, talk about it, and all of that, so that you know what you get in the end. So when you talk about romance, it is vast when it comes to romance. Romance is not only an event that happens on bed. There are so many ways a man should show care and that very love romantically to the woman. Apart from maybe gifting her and things like that, it's also part of romance. So, but if we are talking about romance in the room, well, it should be something that has to be explored, irrespective of your age or beliefs or faith. It should be something that both parties should enjoy, because I know that there are some men that are very traditional. They're so traditional that it has to be, just get in and just do. And there are also some men who are very spiritual with regards to things like that. In fact, for them to go into it is like that Christian ritual. and it's kind of a ritual, kind of a thing. They're so spiritual to it that they even pray on it. So such things these are natural things. The things of the spirit, and things of the flesh should be of the flesh. So, and that does not mean sin. So there should be proper foreplay and from both sides, and the man should make sure that the woman also is fully satisfied, because it's not a one-sided event. And most cases you find that men are always, once they are satisfied, they're off. They don't even care about the lady. But it should be something that they can even talk about. Ask the woman, are you fine? Is it okay? Or what can I do? And also today science and technology has really helped, in so many ways, that these things, both couple can discuss it and find the best way that is good for them. If it is something that they have to go for the doctor to take care of and and then it should be done, so that they should have that full satisfaction. Otherwise, there's going to be a problem, because like I said, love is in the bedroom. If you don't get it right there, other issues might end up popping up. So let me just hang in there and give others opportunity.
Thank you very much. I will come back to you. I will come back to you, Triple Man, because you highlighted some important point. And like I said, I'm not happy that I don't have women on this platform. I only have one woman on this platform. But before I come to you, no, one man went to more. Mr. Man of Prestige was here before you, so
No, let him go. Let him go. Let one man go. I'm good.
okay. I'll come to you.
No, just hold on. Thank you, about San Diego. I want to really come in for a moment, not really to speak to whatever topic that you're speaking to. I only really came in to support to Niger, who supports my platform greatly. That person that you didn't let in, Kaizorian Empire, is one of the leading emerging black voices on the internet. So he's one of the leading emerging voices on the internet. That guy you didn't let in. And to Niger, he doesn't even show his face when he's streaming. So I'm not quite sure, when you're running his platform, you should be insisting that people should have their cameras on. So the guy that owns the platform himself, he doesn't switch on his camera. So why are you insisting that people must?
All right. Point of let me ask you for clarification. You said to Niger or Dr. Rudolph?
To Niger, I think you are conflating where you are. You are running to Niger's platform, and he never shows his face on his stream. We only really came in to support him, and
I'm running. If I understand very well, I'm running Dr. Rudolph platform, except something went wrong somewhere, because Dr. Rudolph, we put this up, so it couldn't have been to Niger platform. However, I think maybe something must have gone wrong.
You are streaming on Niger's platform, and this is where I'm joining you from.
Okay,
and he doesn't.
He doesn't. Hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Let me speak, guy.
No, hold on one second. No, I am the moderator.
Don't worry about what you think. Let me speak, guy.
No, I am the moderator, and I said you should hold on. You listen to me, okay? I'm here on the basis of Dr. Rudolph, not to Niger. So maybe to Niger platform is on Dr. Rudolph. He had it to it. However, on the issue in respect, I'm here because of Dr. Rudolph, not to Niger. So
all right, let me leave you to it.
Okay, if you want to, but we appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't understand. So I think I will have to. Rudolph have to tell me which exactly is his own. His own, because there are a lot of channel on this thing, so he has to specify that is. Also, if you are listening to me, one man went to more. I have respect for everyone. The fact that somebody is a known person on internet or not does not necessarily mean, or does not mean the person should not abide to policy. Okay, that is it. Even if it's to Niger platform, I am moderating. So if I insist that you have to show your camera, I mean, you have to put your camera on, regardless of who we are. This is one of the issues we have back at home. We want to change something, and we want to bend the rules for other people. It doesn't work like that. So please, with due respect, my name is Andrew. When I'm moderating, I respect everyone and I try my best to follow policy. So I'm not being partial here, as the case as you may think. So thank you very much. Man of Prestige, the floor is yours, please. Thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna dive into topic. I'm gonna deviate away from that. Whatever just transpired a while ago. But having said that, I'm gonna talk from an experience because I'm somebody who has only been married once and been married for about 20 years right now going. So in my own experience, like Blackstone properly stated, talking about promised land, I think it's more than promised land because whatever it took for you to get that lady, during the courtship has to continue during the marriage. So every day has to be like a courtship, in my own opinion. This is the way my marriage has, you know, my wife would have properly because, if she was here, I know she would have dived into this topic right now. But having said that, I think marriage, involves, it should be more than just that because as men, we all know what we are. If you marry somebody, even I thought she's the prettiest lady in the world, believe me, you've been with her for many years, 10 years, 20 years. She's not going to look the same, in your own point of view. I mean, you will still admire her as the prettiest because I'm talking about it's like millions of pretty women out there, you go out there, you see another one with different body or whatever they have and everything. So you're going to be attracted as a man. I mean, let's be realistic. We are attracted to men, regardless of what woman they have or what kind of satisfaction you get from home. It doesn't really matter. That's not going to give you. That's the way we are just built. We're going to be attracted to so many beautiful women out there. So it's for you to be able to handle it, depending on your mentality. I mean, you can talk to them, but let it be that. There should be a boundary. So that's the way I look at marriage. The courtship has to continue. Even the taking somebody to the promised land, it involves more than that. I mean, women like different things. It's not just that promised land, which is wherever they get. I'm not going to use that word. We all know what we are talking about. So there has to be fair play and all that kind of things. I mean, it's just a continuous. So whatever it takes to get the person, you have to, have to use the same narrative to keep them. You want to interject as a woman? I give you the right to do that. You see me? Go ahead.
Hello, man of prestige. Very nice to have you join us.
Yeah, Man of Prestige, go ahead, please. I'll go ahead.
Okay. I thought she wants to interject as a woman, so I'm giving her the privilege.
I'm trying to.
Okay, let her interject. Take it. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, like knowingly or unknowingly, I think I may have started the use of that word promised land, and it's a kind of an umbrella which is deep, and anyone is free to express it whichever way they deem fit. People that have feelings, do you know what I mean? When I mean promised land, is deeper than just that Garden of Eden or promised land. For my promised land with whoever I'm loving or whoever I'm in the bedroom with, we decide our promised land, which may be different from another person's promised land. So it's just a generic kind of an umbrella word, just to clarify that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Simile. I didn't listen to you when you spoke. I think I started listening when Blackstone was speaking. So I took it from point of view where, as a man, where Blackstone was speaking. I know what we mean by promised land. So I thought it was just one of something when you say
I
promised
took
land.
out. Yeah, I took her on. I took the word from her, and so like she said, it is a very wide.
Okay.
Let me say,
Okay.
wide as the sea. You understand me? So you can explore. You can
Okay, I thought it was more narrow than that, but anyway,
no.
I won't say that. Let me proceed. So, like we are
Man of
talking,
Prestige, I apologize for interrupting or interjecting you.
yeah.
Sorry, I was just speaking with Dr. Rudolph on the phone there. So I am broadcasting from his platform, and any other channel is connected to his platform. So I'm not broadcasting from Two Niger platform. Thank you. Go ahead, Man of Prestige.
Okay. So marriage, marriage is very interesting. Like I was saying earlier, you have to keep on working on the marriage. It has to be every day. I mean, what like I was saying, whatever you do to get the lady, you have to keep on doing it. I mean, flower is not just from Valentine and everything you can do. I'm just speaking from my experience. Like I was saying, this is what has maintained my marriage for this long. I've only been married once, and it's going close to 20 years. Well, not quite, but I can say 20 years. Right now. So there's different things that make people happy, and communication has to be one of them, definitely. And of course, marriage, getting where you want to, I mean, the sex part of it is part of it. You have to have that in my marriage. I think that's in the Bible. I'm not a biblical person, but my wife told me it's in the Bible, so I've not read that. That's what she said. So you have to do that. That's part of marriage, communication. That I mean, there's different things. I
Man
mean,
of
different.
prestige, I am going to interject you to tell you that your wife is correct. So you need to start to read the Bible. You need to start
Okay.
listening to her.
Okay. Oh
So
no,
we
definitely.
are talking
I
we
listen
are
to my wife
talking
very much.
about satisfaction at that promised land. And
Okay.
I will open it for you somewhere in the book of Corinthians when you finish talking. So
Oh
she
yeah, I don't.
is 100.
I'll be honest. I don't read Bible, but I go to church with her. She's the one
You
that
need
read
to
Bible.
start reading it now, particularly if you say you love your wife. You need to start reading
Of
it now.
course, of course. I mean, I don't have to read the Bible to love my wife. You know that, right? What are you talking about?
If she's listening, she's going to support me. She's not going to
No,
support you on this ground.
she's not here. Okay, she's not here. But anyway, having said that, yeah, it takes a long. There's different things. Whatever. I mean, what work for Blackstone family may not work for my family. So everybody is different. I guess it depends on the kind of communication you have with your wife or the kind of chemistry you have. So it's kind of involving. There's different kind of things that play in a marriage. So I mean, you're gonna have a problem in marriage. Communication is very deep. Of course, there's say money and all that kind of thing, but I don't know about all that. I mean, money. I don't know. Maybe money does play a role in marriage, but I guess if two of you are doing okay, that may not be an issue. So maybe the communication and this part of sex and all that kind of things. But um, I've seen a situation whereby sex play a role. Even I thought the people are doing well, communication supposedly, but the sex break up their marriage. I know of somebody that happened to, because the opposite sex, don't want it, and the other one want it quite often. So that play a role. So the other one decides, I'm not going to say whether it's a man or a lady. The other one decided to go find his satisfaction or idea. So that break up the marriage. Yeah, I'm a witness to that. I know of somebody who that happened. I mean, everybody here have heard about that, but I personally know of somebody that has happened to. So I don't know. We can keep on talking about it. I just want to put my 2 cents about how I feel about that.
Thank you for your 2 cents, the 2 cents man of prestige. I know you don't want to mention whether it is the man or the woman that want
No.
it more or not. I will respect that. However, like what similar and triple man and the Blackstone, Ike and San Antonio, I'll come to you, please. Apologies for that. The issue highlighted by triple man is let's be honest with ourselves. Okay, we are men here, even though I thought more women will come on the platform. But let's be honest with ourselves. Even in the best, we've had the best relationship break up regardless. But
What is the
truth be
best
told,
relationship? What is the best relationship?
there is no, I mean, everybody perceive whatever, we perceive it differently. So I will
Okay.
not say this is it or this is it. No, we perceive it differently. So, but we get surprised when they break up. But from my own personal experience, okay, which Mr. Tripleman and Issimile and Blackstone have said, is that in the inner chamber, okay, whether it's done in the inner chamber or it's done anywhere, okay, we just highlighting it. We all agree that regardless, the man gets to that promised land, regardless. However, we are not patient enough to let the woman get to the promised land. That is where the satisfaction lies. Now, some may say, oh, some women don't care. How do you arrive at such conclusion? Every woman, from my short little experience, actually do care, that they want to get to that point that the man also gets. Now, go ahead, Isimile. You have the floor, so you can interject anybody anytime. Go
I
ahead.
just want, before you guys continue, I just want to put one sense and get
Okay,
out
go
of you
ahead.
guys'
Go
way.
ahead. No, don't get
So,
out. Stay, please. There's
so
no point to get out.
my name is Raphael Ike. In this thing, I have been married for December. It will be 20 years. I've been married, and I have seen a lot of marriage failed. But there's two fundamental things in Western world, even in Africa, two fundamental things that cause marriage in Western world and globally. Finance and sex are two major things they are number one and number two of things that cause issues in marriage. And secondly, a lot of our women wasn't raised. They are not raised how important role sex play in the marriage. Why do I say that? Most of the women doesn't even understand their body to know. Hold on, allow me to talk. When I finish talking, you can kill me.
Okay.
Most of the women don't understand their body enough to know what gets them the word promised land. Because what gets somebody to promised land, first of all, you're going to explore your body to understand what gets you to the promised land. When you're doing courtship and you're dating a girl, who doesn't want to show herself what she like? Because in our society, in Nigeria society, it's like everybody's pretending. A lot of women pretend. When you're doing courtship with them, they don't want to say, this is what I like that will get me to where I want to get to, and this is what I hate. So it's important in our society to is for women to explore their body and understand many times before they go to Western world many things that make them get to where they need to get to, because there's so many ways to get to a woman where they need to get to, and men are the easiest way. Most of the time, men, because of their human anatomy, the way their human anatomy is designed, it's easier for a man to get to promised land than a woman. But the key thing is that a woman has to understand her body enough, what she needs, how the role the man have to play to get her to where she need to get to that promised land, or be more excited, or be more. A lot of time, our Nigerian women, because of how they are trained, they are so conservative that they don't open up. You will see a woman, a Nigerian woman. A lot of men in Western world tell that story, that if you and your girl or your wife have problems, she use sex to hold you hostage. A lot of time, before you know, the man have already, step up. I tell every woman that I met, first of all, when you're dating a guy, know the guy's cycle. People say, why do you say that? Know the man's cycle. Why a lot of Western world women play that role? They understand it. You see the woman saying, "Oh, he's acting crazy." She knows because she understands that guy's cycle. I tell people you have to understand your boyfriend, your husband's cycle, so that I don't think if you satisfy your husband last night when he goes to work, a girl drop a pen on the floor and bend down and loop up and pick up the pen. That will
Can I
get that man
can I
excited.
interject?
He will
Can I
it's not
interject?
gonna get
Can I
up.
interject? Can I interject? I think we are allowed to interject. Can I interject?
Okay, go ahead. I mean, that's a
Yeah, yeah,
spanner
yeah.
you've thrown in the way.
I was gonna interject to what he just said earlier when he said our woman, he tried to differentiate Nigeria or African woman compared to the Western woman. I beg to be different that maybe that's in the old generation, not the present African women or Nigerian women to be specific. They are equally, understand their body like the Western world understand body. When it comes to sex, I mean, the Western women, they are not better. They don't want it more than the Nigerian women will do. So I'm thinking maybe talking about something like, I don't know, 40, 50 years ago, people that grew up in the village, not the current Nigerian women.
I'm just
Some of
saying
them
my
are even
opinion.
some of them
I'm
are
just
even more
saying
versatile than the
I,
Western women.
I'm just saying my opinion.
Okay, no. I'm not saying you're wrong. Don't misunderstand me,
Like I
okay?
said, 20 years since 20 years I've been married, I haven't sneaked out of my wife. So I don't know what is trending now, but I'm just telling you my understanding and what I saw growing up. So that is why I'm saying.
You should know, at least you should know what is trending because you are in the Western world and you are connected to internet. You know, you hear news and
Let's give it
everything.
similarly the floor. Similarly, the floor is yours, please.
This is getting interesting.
I don't believe that all men get to their promised land based on um, psychology, based on biology, which is medical. So that is, by the way,
Similarly, before you, no, it ain't gonna be by the way. I told you you are you are in the bullet. You are in the forefront here,
In the hot seat.
in the hot seat. You just said, you just said, come again, that not all men get to the promised land based on biology and what other thing did you say again? Based on
Science.
science,
psychology.
psychology.
Which
Now,
is
when we are referencing the promised land, do you really understand what we meant by the man getting to the promised land?
well, maybe a man would better tell me what their promised
Yeah,
land.
let me intervene.
Okay, that's
Um,
good.
yeah. I don't know how to say it on this platform because there's something YouTube don't.
Ejaculation. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know we can use that word, but you already used it. I'm not going to use it again.
So
But let me finish my point I'm trying to make in reference to what Isimili said. When he said, I think when you use the word, some men or you try to say most men, I would say about 99% plus men, get to the promised land. The only way a man can get to the promised land if they have some medical issue. I mean, it can be a minute. It can be a minute before they get to the promised land. It can be 30 minutes of foreign land. But what I think, that's just my personal point of view, that all men, able men, do get to the promised land. Women is different. But men-wise, the way we are built, we do get to the promised land 99.9%. Unless somebody has a medical issue as a man, I can't see any man not getting to the promised land. I'm not a doctor, but I mean that's what I think.
every
Well,
man,
thanks for the
every
clarification.
every
So
man get
Isimili,
every man get to the promised land.
Yeah.
yeah, Isimili, now
Every
you
You
man.
must
understand.
understand
But
that
okay, excuse me. No,
it's not
excuse me.
all
No,
it's not
excuse
all
me.
ejaculation that is
No,
getting to the promised land. That a
Okay,
man just went in and just arrived and just out does not mean that he reached that destination. So it also
Okay.
happens like that. So
explain
What
what you
what
mean,
is?
sir.
Can you
let,
explain that?
okay,
What is the
Yes,
difference?
explain.
Hold on. Let
let's
him
hold on
explain.
first. No, let's hold on first. Let's hold on first. Isimili, uh,
But what I can say in this issue, what I can say, I don't know if I'm right, right? I know that there are a group of men who find it very difficult to get to the promised land.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he has to know you only on medical reason. But anyway, go ahead.
Yes, of course. I know it could be because I don't know. I think this issue, this what I'm trying to say is very, very controversial. I know that's that, right? So I don't know. But what I know that men that are not circumcised have it very
Oh, okay.
difficult to get to the
Oh, okay.
promised land.
I didn't know about that. I never thought about that.
I still I take a different opinion to that. That is strictly personal.
okay, Isimili, let me pause you. I need to highlight something here, please. This is a message put out by one man went to more, who is a regular feature on this platform, and which is very sad for a person like him who also run
Oh
a
man.
YouTube channel, uh, addressing me as an idiot, which is okay. So I am going to block him so he can take it up with Dr. Damage. I believe Dr. Damage is watching. And despite explanation provided and me having to call Rudolph, he still felt the need to go on the chat show to say I am an idiot who runs a space. Okay. These are the things we talk when we want to change Nigeria. These are the people who we highlight that wants to change Nigeria or asking for a change in Nigeria. Well, I don't know. To be honest, uh, it's all right.
Can I
It's
say
okay.
something? Electricity, can I
Don't
say
even
something?
entertain
Can
that.
I say
Okay,
something?
electricity. Don't. I mean, there's no
Electricity.
need.
What
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to say something. What I want to say is that, firstly, sorry about that insult that one man did to himself. Honestly, I tried to hold myself back the time he came to say the things he said and left. If you noticed, if you have been on those of us that has been on this platform for a while knows him. I used to watch his program on YouTube until I personally unsubscribed because of his ways, and I know that there are so many others that did that. Every time one man went to work, went to whatever it is, comes to this platform, he's always offensive. He's always on the other side. At some point, I wonder, is he always coming here to incite people or what? And he's always like, okay, I come in, I just want to say something, I want to go, as if to say those that who have been here are wasting their time, or we don't have anything to do too. He is that kind of a person, and I don't understand why. He always comes here to be very indifferent, and I mean very indifferent in a very arrogative way. It's not nice at all. So his arrogance and all of that is not fine. So I'm sorry about what he said about you, and we are happy with the show you're running, and you're doing so well so far. So just let him go. One man will always be one
Let,
man.
let me make a point. I hope one man is listening. He probably listening on the background, and I'm gonna make this point specifically. I apologize to the panelists for allowing him to use my time to to spoon some idiotic things that he said here. I hope he's listening. I mean, what he did is uncalled for because he didn't do anything to offend him. He was. I mean, maybe the way the platform is entangled. Maybe what's his name was there to Niger. I mean, but there's no need for him to come here and telling us that somebody's an expert or in the internet or whatever. That's not our problem. He can be whatever he wants. But what he just did is uncalled for. Okay, he need to be cursed out. I hope he come back. I gave him the plus one. I respect him. But if I have known, so I'm apologizing to anybody for yielding to him because what he just did so that he's not a gentleman. So one man, I hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
Mr. Electricity, I think people like one man, the best thing to do to you is to ignore him. For me, it's never ever relevant. Anytime it comes to the platform, like Triple Man said, is to cause confusion. Right from the very beginning, it's to cause confusion, insult people, and then move away. Right. So I only listened to his platform one time, and that was the end, because I don't see any reason why I should listen to such a person who's so proud. He thinks that he knows everything, and he's so statistic and everything. So I think the best thing is just for you to ignore him,
Yeah,
and
because it's a regular. I mean, there are other people who are saying things on the which are, but because it's a regular person and a known person, I expect better from him. And but it's okay. Let's continue with the discussion. I don't know where we stopped. I think Esimile has the floor, if I'm correct. Esimile, the floor is yours. Then we go to Mase. Osfall have not spoken for a while. We go to Esimile. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted
Excuse me. Electricity, put me at the back. I'll be right back, okay? Hello?
All right, I'll do that. I'll
Put
do
me at
that.
the back.
I'll do
I'll be
that.
right back. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar. Go ahead.
I think I don't believe that all men will or get to that promised land or their promised land as they the men will define it based on their personal wants and desire. Um, how can you define electricity's promised land? The Blackstone's promised land, Triple Man's promised land, and you're going to sit there and tell me that every time you get to your promised land, I don't think is reality. There is always going to be room for eventuality. Maybe not even medical, you know. I won't say impotent because that is being nasty, you know. Medical or even psychological, mental conditions, mental problems, depression, lack of jobs. When someone is a man is having financial difficulties, problems, there are things that could make a man not to get to their promised land. That would play on their mental focus towards through their emotional abilities to perform and then get to their so-called promised land. It is deeper than that. That's what I'm thinking. I may be wrong, but that's my voice. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
interject? Can I interject to inject? Can I
Excuse me,
interject
sir.
to inject?
Excuse me, sir. Just
What I,
one word. Just one word.
Hold
Um,
on, Triple
yeah.
Man. Go ahead,
Will
Blackstone.
will you cut that lack of interest? Because when somebody lose interest on something, so he has no interest on it. But when that interest is there, so I guess that it will get to that promised land.
No, I don't think it's interest in the person in front of you or interest of where you want to go to. How do you reach there? Is it just
Where you want to go to, definitely.
do you plan it? How do you plan how where you want to get to? Is it the person at least the person in front of you should be able to because it takes two to tango to help you get to that your promised land because unless you do it by yourself. But that promised land, we're not talking about man and woman. We're not talking
Yes,
about
because okay, why I said lack of interest. When you have if you don't have interest on a thing, right? Your psychological and biological something reject it. Your body reject it. Your mind reject it. Your feeling is not there.
I disagree. I don't think some
Anyway, that's my point. That's the way I see it.
I,
That's my point of
I
view.
respect your point of view, but
Yeah.
I differ to that. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I'm not attacking it. I'm just saying.
Okay, let's give Mr. I'll come back to you, Triple Man. Let's give Mr. Masai Osfall the floor. The floor is yours, Masai. You are muted. You have to unmute yourself, please.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Loud and clear.
My take might be a little bit controversial, but this is what I believe. Firstly, this is one reason. This is one of the reasons why sexual purity is very important for a lady. If a lady has been run through by 2 or more guys, definitely the threshold would have moved. A guy can settle for less. He knows what he wants in the woman. Oh, this woman would be the mother of my kids, the woman I love. I'm in sync with this lady. He can settle for less. But for the lady who has had experience, she can't settle for less. This is where the whole problem comes in. That aside, a woman who doesn't need a woman does not need understanding of her body. What she needs is a man who understands his own body. A man who has a level of experience. That is why in the secular world we say men need experience. Yes, it's the truth. Men need experience because with experience you can guide the lady. It's not the other way around. Let's talk about when did we start talking about growing up, I did not hear women talking about satisfaction. There was nothing like satisfaction till the whole movement of feminism and today's woke culture came into play. No, my parents did not talk about satisfaction. The
That was due
priority
to
was
culture. That was due to culture.
Yeah, hold on one second, Mr. Blackstone.
the
Go ahead.
priority the priority was once you are married, the kids come first. Our marriage is beyond us now. It's now the kids. But the whole satisfaction came in when women were given the ability to explore, do what they want. The purity has left. Women now know, okay, I want, if Mr. A can take you to, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 10, Mr. A takes you to 9, and today you're not with Mr. A, you're settling for Mr. B, and Mr. B's peak is 6, what should he do? He can't take it to 9 because 6 is his peak. So the whole discussion of satisfaction, I think it's very inappropriate, and it doesn't really end well if we don't tackle the root cause. For me, left alone, I would say sexual purity is very important, and we've forgotten about it. We're talking about things that don't really matter.
Okay, let me see if I can bring you to let me see if let me use my skill. Okay. During the course of this broadcast, I did highlight that I did state that thou shalt not commit fornication is across board. It doesn't matter whether you're a Christian. Did I say that?
Yeah, I think I was on when you said
Would
that.
you class that as purity as well? That would be purity, isn't it?
Yes, it will be purity.
Good. Now, I believe everyone acknowledge purity in that regard. However, we have to be honest with ourselves. In the context of what we are discussing here, it's in that regard as well, but you also have to understand that you cannot put that stamp that says, oh, as a result of purity, this discussion, this topic is inappropriate.
Let me
Let me
land.
finish. Let me finish. You've
Okay.
landed. Hold on one second. And even if you maintain purity, which is recognized even into marriage, you cannot rule out that aspect or disregard that aspect of the satisfaction we are talking about. And I think Triple Man highlighted on that in his argument. So yes, purity is expected. However, these matters should be discussed regardless. It is not inappropriate because if God, the Creator, says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery," it means He understands what He's saying. He's talking about sexual issue. That is God Himself talking about it. So we will talk about it. We acknowledge purity. Nonetheless, even with purity, if you want to be Christian with me or with us, being a virgin doesn't guarantee you to eternal life. Okay, let's recognize that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm not coming from a religious angle. That's why I said let me finish. I'm not
when you
coming
say
from a religious
purity, what do you mean by
I'm
purity
not
then?
coming from I'm not coming from a religious angle.
Okay, could you
In
clarify
response
what you meant by purity?
in response to what Mr. James said earlier, everything I know about the whole sex and whatever, I learned it from my mom and my granddad
Okay,
because
can you do us a favor? Hold on one second. Can you do us a favor? Can you clarify what you meant by
by
purity
purity.
in
Yes,
respect to the woman?
in respect to the woman.
You are particular about the
Yes.
woman, please.
Okay. maybe wrong choice of word. I was not in particular to purity for guys, for ladies. I also said the guy has to understand himself, understand his body. If you don't understand yourself, how would you satisfy someone else?
Okay, we understand that. I believe the other panelists and viewers understand. So you've clarified yourself that you are using the wrong choice of word. But I would like
Exactly.
to put it to you that this discussion, this topic is not inappropriate. It's a topic that
No,
if did I get him wrong?
They say
I
it's
think
appropriate. He's
I
trying to give you his point of view, why things are happening the way he sees it.
exactly. I'm not talking about this conversation. I'm
Okay,
here.
all
I've
right,
been
go
here
ahead.
since it
Okay, go
started.
ahead.
He's
Go
talking about
ahead.
relationship in his own view, the way he sees it. Why
Yeah,
women wanting more or things happen, but I'm
exactly.
asking the meaning of woman's you call it, is it puberty or maturity or something? What did you call it? I wanted you to shed more light on that so that
Okay.
the women that are
I
listening will
I
understand you better, please.
I would give you this example. Like I already said it before. If a lady has been in several relationships, not just for ladies, for guys too, it applies. If a lady has been in several relationships, she's definitely climaxed with one of those guys or in one of those relationships. No lady can boldly come out and tell me that I've met 3 guys, they all did the same thing, they took me to my peak. One always comes first. If we're talking about sex, same thing goes
Well,
for
it
guys.
depends. It depends, brother. It depends because if you if you have stayed long in Western countries, you find that there are some ladies that can't even have a night pass without doing it, and you will have them tell you that each time they had it, they always come. I've had someone saying that the lady told her that every man that she had ever met always made her to reach that promised land. So and so it depends because the women bodies, they differ. So yeah, so I just want to inject that. At least I know of some people who, they can't go one day without. So
Let's Isimir, go ahead. Say what you want to say before I narrow this issue down.
I disagree a little bit that by the quantity, then we determine the lady's future. It's like it's been nailed. The lady's been nailed in the covenant. You see, that's one thing we need to talk about. That's why I voice out. It's not about feminism. It's like the place where women have been put. Even our forefathers. Then maybe I would say I'm not condemning it, but it could be from the place of ignorance. But it is. This is not to say woman is equal with man. I'm not. That's not it. We are talking about things, ingredients of a relationship that could actually make both of you happy. When you are both happy, there is bound to be success. You move forward in things. But I cannot. Maybe your point, you're entitled to your opinion, but to say by experience is like a probability that this is going to happen because of many samplings, without putting into consideration our culture, backgrounds, what our women are being put into, the shaming, abuse, and stuff like that. We need to put such things into consideration. The moment women are less abused, not that the woman has to be abusive by communicating effectively, like, oh, my darling, this makes me happy. How about we do things this way? What do you think? If you really like someone, you want that person to be happy, isn't it? So you should, once you value something, you need to treasure it and let it have a positive voice, that when you even sleep you would have, although some don't have conscience, but that conscience that, God, I'm treating this woman nice, regardless whether she had been to north, south, east, and west, After all, no one is perfect. This is not a judgmental. For me, I don't come from a place of judgment. I'm not there to judge anyone. Who am I to judge anyone? But I'm trying to say things can be discussed. Communication is important to actually help women to tackle less mental problems due to negligence and all these sort of things. The way, maybe like I was saying, is ignorance. The way, these things maybe can help some people out there to actually hear from a woman and try to see that world of the woman, and maybe it will help some people out there. That's why I've come out to be the sacrificial lamb. I know some women don't want to come out, but we have to talk about it. I believe that the woman should be treated fairly and respected in every possible way. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, let
thank you
me.
very
Okay,
much. Hold on
uh,
one second, Mr.
okay.
First and foremost, listen, let me correct something. You are not a sacrificial lamb, please. Please, your presence here is highly appreciated. I know we had this discussion before we had this program. So, and you're putting things coming from a woman's point of view. If we are all men, yeah, believe me, I would have ended the show and just go and sleep. But because you are the woman, I appreciate it. I also don't agree with Marseille's this thing. Point of view, because listen, if we tread on the path of judgmental, we all are liable in one form or the other. Every will be judged, will equally be judged as well too. So we must not come from the point of judgmental. I, I mean, if whether she's been with one, two, three, the guy she's been with is the most important thing right now for her to focus on. The bottom line is communication, conversation is what matters at the end of the day. Okay, you said something that is important. I must not disregard everything you said. The man must understand his own body function to be able to help the woman. I agree with that. At the same time, also, communication between she and the man also must take place. Okay, because sometimes, in my opinion and experience, we expect to have that ability to read each other's mind. I don't have ability to read Isimile's mind, and Isimile don't have the ability to read my mind. It's just acting a drama here to read my mind. So therefore, we need to talk and hear these things out to be able to get to that point. Now, in the confine of marriage, we need to talk about these things, because if we don't talk it within ourselves and have this discussion, why do you think people go to meet counselors? It's because they want to talk. And most of the times, the counselor will tell you, you guys don't talk about this. Can you guys not talk about this within yourself? I come from the position that, which is similarly said, it's not, but probably I come from the position that men are selfish in that regard, that we don't have that patient enough, or to talk this thing to the woman for them to understand. For us to understand, we focus on ourselves, and for those who get to the promised land, as soon as we get to the promised land, that is it. We don't care whether she gets there. We don't care how she feel. It's that thing is not for just procreation. Yes, the creator who made it said, go into the world and multiply this and that. But after the multiplication, addition and multiplication, and the kids have gone, what now happened? That is one of the questions we should be. If it's for a sole purpose of multiplication, there won't be an issue in relationship. because the sole purpose is for us to have kids. So once we have the kids, nobody should talk about it. Nobody should do it again. It becomes irrelevant. Is that the case? I yield the floor to Mr.
Uh,
Blackstone, then Triple Man.
okay, thank you. First of all, let me respond to uh, my brother there. What's his name? Yeah, Marcel. So,
Yeah, it's okay.
so one thing we have to understand that when we are talking about our fathers, our forefathers, we don't know if they were actually discussing these things in their bedroom, inside the room. It's only that now everybody is free to discuss. Everybody is a social media specialist. Everybody is a counselor. Everybody can put in video, can come up and say this and say that. That's why we are hearing these things, right? But we don't know that we actually, because at that time, we don't have that relationship with our fathers as we have these days. As father has a relationship with his son, they can sit down and discuss. A mother with a daughter sit down, and those things sometimes was even a taboo to say it out to a third party. You understand me? Maybe they were discussing these things. We don't know. And two, we will not even know because there were not that medium of making it known to everybody was not there. We can see that today with some marriages are in problem, they go to social media, they put it there, it become a trending video, if you want to comment, so on and so forth, because the medium is already there for open communication. I believe at that time there were some families was also marriage families were really also discussing the issue within themselves. The husband, the wife, they do talk about these things, but due to our traditional a tradition that man is the head of the house. Let me say man is the boss. So according to African tradition, that when the man talks, the man should shut up. So those things might have been there, so we don't know about it. So let us not compare it to that time, because this time we have more freedom of speech. If my father said I should not talk about it, my husband can go to social media and broadcast it. Or you may tell your friend, we just take it to the social media and broadcast it, right? So that's some of the things, right? Yeah. Coming back to your question, Mr. Electricity, what was your question again? I'm sorry, it has escaped my memory.
Oh, what I'm trying to say. I think I asked a question. I said even the creator who made it said go into the world and multiply. Uh, it's beyond for procreation, because if that is what he intended it to do only, then we will not be talking about it. We will just have our procreation, and after procreation, to your tent, O ye Israel.
Well,
That is not the intent, because if we look at, I think it's First Corinthians chapter 5, if I'm correct, or 7. I'll look for it. When he was talking about the man and the woman fasting based on agreement, and after they finish their fasting, they should quickly come back together. That's portion of the scripture was referencing to what we are talking about, in order to avoid temptation. So it's
Okay,
beyond
all right.
pro.
Yeah.
Is Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, of course, it is beyond procreation, right? And yeah, because procreation is just one aspect of it. So, and which is the most important aspect of it, right? We know, okay, let me just say, in Europe, in abroad, in Western world, when a child is 18, she or he either decide to keep on living with the parents or move out to go and be living alone. Like you said, when that happens, when all the children are out of the house, then what happens, right? So it is a, that's why I say marriage is a lifetime contract. I mean, put it like that, contract, a lifetime togetherness, to be together for a lifetime, And one thing I know very sure that the older we become, right? I don't know. I can't actually verify this, that the women begin to lose interest, right, in sleeping with the man, right? But the man can still have that interest, right? So, in that situation, they have to at least communicate more. They have to spend time. In fact, let me say, they have to go back to the time of courtship. The life they had, they shared before they got married. You understand me? You know, that's where they have to go back to that aspect, like trying to become brothers and sisters in that relationship, you know, so that they can continue. If you say, okay, go ahead, let me hear you.
How can husband and wife be brothers and sisters? That takes the
No, what I mean is because I say when they are growing, you know, they are growing old. You understand me? Many things, interest for many things begin to die. Goes down. You understand me? You know, when I say they become like brothers and sisters, that they are now in a way that caring for each other.
Huh? They understand each other better.
Yes, it is try to understand each other better.
Because if I see you like my brother now, I don't want
to. No, I don't think it's actually me. I don't think he meant.
No. Okay, for example, okay, let me put it like this. Okay, let me put it like this, right? From the in a country where I live in, I see the advanced people, how they do their things, the husband and wife, how they do their things, how they play, how they take care of themselves, you know. So that's what I'm trying to refer to, that it becomes like a brother and sister relationship. The husband and wife, definitely.
I think it's better than to say let them go back and become like friends.
Okay.
Not brothers and sisters.
Okay. Friends. Okay.
They're done.
I want to say something to you. You guys need to be careful when you choose your words in this relationship. Excuse my face. When it's like now, a man and a woman who has been intimate with each other based on attraction, and they're good. And then you address the man, oh, you're my friend. The man will just turn on, like the way he would turn 360. What do you mean, friend? There are words that.
No, okay. For example, let me cut you short. So let me cut you short. Let me cut you short. Let me say something there. Let me say something there.
Communicating. I'm not.
Wait, let me say something there. In the country I live in, right? The people even husband and wife call themselves by their first name. It was a surprise to me when I came here. They call themselves by their first name. You know, so I was quite surprised. That's why I said in where I live in, right? Somebody differs in other countries, definitely, right? But in where I live in, they become very friendly, easy going, right? Though we will see them as husband and wife, but the way they do things, right? It's like they are friends.
What you're trying to say, I understand what you're saying. Is like they now become more comfortable in each other's in each other's presence.
Yes.
It's like now they're old, they're not looking anymore. You make do with whatever you have. You make do. You stay there because you're not young to say you're going to go hunting or stuff like that. You make do. Then turn around and say, "Oh, you're my friend." Maybe your best friend, but friend, that word friend, because when you started, you're not. You're my love, man, love.
Okay, that's why I said where I live in. So I don't know.
Okay, we have withdrawn that word, brothers and sisters.
Yes, let's take it out.
Gentlemen, I want to say, because there's some women are going to hell now because of all these things, and maybe my voice will help. She's going to talk life out there. Again, this courtship, my brethren is talking about. I believe in a relationship, saying, okay, the early stage is courtship and then you marry. The courtship continues till the lifespan of your affair. That's the way I see it, to help it have much more structure. Because if we divide it in segments and then we don't know what to come, but if you know, okay, this is a courtship that, okay, this one bring in ideas, because you have a mutual agreement, not one side or mutual, and then you work at it together. It's a journey that you continue to cut each other. The first time you revisit your old moments when you met each other. Okay, you have a memorable day that you're going to remember how it felt when you first met. There are things how you can create and help that romance last longer. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm just
what Ismiri said earlier about the man may not reach his Jerusalem. Is also, you need to ask yourself, why is it that some men wouldn't keep to one woman? You hear about cheating and things like that. Why is it that, okay, if he reaches that Jerusalem all the time, why would a man, especially guys, always want to have one or two, at the same time, because that full satisfaction may not be found at once, but nonetheless, there are some men who keeps to one.
Excuse
And
me,
they're
sir, let me,
gentlemen.
excuse me, sir, let me say,
So,
it's
how
not.
many hours? So, excuse me, how many hours difference? When you say this, how many hours difference before they can get to? Because I don't think that is the simple
A
reason why men take.
a
That's
man
not the simple.
will
I
not
so
I don't I don't I
be
don't think
satisfied.
I don't think that statement you made is correct.
That's
Guys
not the reason that.
guys are just indisciplined. It's one word, indiscipline. It's the intricate nature of a man to go after several women. But when you are disciplined, you stay
yes,
with one and you keep her. You have that
my
respect.
I am not
I
in any.
would not
I'm not. Look, I'm not
I
in
would
any way
not
suggesting that men should. Naturally, men are hunters. Men are hunters.
yes.
I'm not. I'm
That
not
that
saying that men should go and get satisfaction or get to Jerusalem from 1 to 3 or 4
no.
or 5. No, I'm not in support of that at all.
You
A
asked
man
why.
should keep one
You
woman.
asked
So
why.
that's my point.
Why
So
some men? I'm telling you that it is in discipline. That is why
of
some men
course.
behave like that. Men that have discipline don't go around doing that.
That
So
is
okay, that's by the way. One other thing I want to talk about from what the Blackstone mentioned about our parents, back in their day, may not be discussing some of these things that we don't know whether they discussed it or something like that. First and foremost, it depends on whose parent, because if you're 50-year-old, your parents may not be at the same age with someone who is 22, 25 years old, and that takes back to time, because generations of people are different. And I surely can tell you that there were generations of our parents, who never discuss those things. They never discuss about it. They just have one direct way of doing it. In fact, most of them get involved because they want children, and they just carry on like that. And amazingly, in those days, divorces were very minimal. Divorces were minimal, very low, in those days of some of our parents or grandparents. But today, you find that such issues should be discussed. It should be discussed because people are different, and I believe that when it is properly discussed, then you will have peace. I know that there are two major things that causes 90% of most divorces. And the number one is sex and the money. That's number two. The issues of sex and the issues of money has led to so many marriages, hit the rocks. So the moment those two are being taken care of, then every other thing can actually, adjust in, because you find that there are things men don't forgive easily, and that is where the issues of extramarital relationships, vice versa. Women are very soft-minded, emotional, and kind people more than men. So sometimes a woman might easily forgive a man that she caught cheating on her, but it's difficult for men to do that the other way around. So you find
It's
that
human, it's nature.
yes, it's nature. So you find that but when issues are discussed, you need to find out, what is it that she doesn't like, what is it that he doesn't like that happens in the bedroom, and then you discuss that. Just like say you always have issues of quarrels. Sometimes it's good for the man to write down maybe 7 things that the woman doesn't like, and then the woman at the same time write 7 things the man doesn't that it does that the man doesn't like, vice versa. And like that, they take those notes and go and look at it and work on it for the peace and the peace of the relationship. So those such issues should be discussed, and to be discussed in depthly.
All right, thank you very much. I
Okay, let me
allowed.
ask you a question.
Okay, right.
Yeah. Actually, when does love actually dies in marriage? Or why
It
does
is.
love die? Why does love just end? The two together, there's no more love. Why does this end in a marriage?
I believe you are throwing the question to the floor
Yeah,
and
to
not
the
to one.
floor. Not to the floor.
Okay. Uh, we'll start with Isimile, then we'll go to my side, then Triple Man, then I will. Isimile, Mr. Blackstone has just asked a question. When does love die in a relationship? If I'm correct by your question, Mr. Blackstone.
Or why does love dies
Well,
when
what are the things that is responsible that
possible, yeah,
kills
for the
love?
love?
Isimile, the floor is yours.
It depends. There are different types of love, I would say. By definition, if you search out there, you would hear from different people what they mean, what their love is. Yeah. And for a love to die means that those people telling you they love you for a particular reason, those what made them to love you is not there anymore. You see, if it's material, what do you expect? Then would we say there is true love, or would we say I've met my soulmate? When do you know when you meet your soulmate and then your soulmate becomes your true love? Because true love, they say, never dies. So these are questions we need to ask and answer. It depends on who is talking about that love, what they mean by love. How will that woman or that man define love to be? Perhaps what I want in love may be different from what another lady wants from love. I know they will say, okay, there is generalization that you want to be cared for, you want to be, you want someone to be intimate with you, to show emotions, feelings, and that. Perhaps it may not always be the full definition of love because that word love is deep. When you love someone, I don't think it dies, but it can dwindle and then possibly something can make it resurface again because we human beings are very unstable, yeah. We are a bag of emotions, even though they say men might not have emotions, they are looking for respect and women are the emotional baggages, but I do disagree with that because we are not made every human being is uniquely made. That's why you see some men cry as well. Oh, yeah, that's my answer to that.
Okay, Masai, the floor is yours, please. And can you try and answer the question, please?
Why does love die in a relationship? A lot of things can factor into the death of, if you want to call it love. I believe for women, love is a different thing. For men, love is a different thing. In my case, every girl I've met, I'll tell you, if I cannot tell you to jump and you jump, we have nothing to do. I'm a big proponent of respect. You have to respect me. You might have your
Let me
opinion.
hold on one second. Hold on one second. If I hear you very well, for the purpose of integrity, and
Conquer me. It's
you
good.
said for you, if
Yeah.
you tell a woman to jump and she cannot jump, then you guys are not, I mean, she's not your kind of a woman. Would that be correct in what you just
Yeah,
said?
that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. I would like to state that this is the opinion of Masai and does not represent
The opinion
uh,
of the
the
That's what I said.
position.
I
Uh,
I said
this
I said
this
in my opinion.
Okay, no,
I said
I'm
I said
just re-emphasizing.
because
No, hold on. I'm just re-emphasizing it for the integrity of this channel.
yeah,
That
okay, okay,
it is
okay, okay, okay.
strictly the opinion. Because I don't think this channel, not that I don't think, I know this channel would not promote such idea that it's when a man tell a woman to jump, then she has to jump. I think we need to work on you, Masaya. I know. I won't
Maybe
say it because you're a young man. No, I would
okay,
say we
okay.
need to
I
work on
accept.
you. You
I
can't.
accept. I might be
Uh,
very young.
yeah, but even though it is your opinion, I'll come to you, Isimi. Even though it is your opinion, this is one thing I want. I don't practice personally. Sometimes we hide behind opinion to
Mm,
actually say our minds, which is not good because we don't want maybe people to challenge or people to correct us. But there is nowhere it's acceptable that will class you as a dictator. People will see you
no.
as a dictator, but because if you say, "Oh, jump," and the person does not jump,
You
no,
always
no,
counter me. You don't let me land. You
no,
don't let me
okay,
land. You would not let me
okay.
finish. You just
Okay,
counter.
since you are flying, you are still flying. Okay, let me let you land. Okay, go ahead. You are still in the air. Go ahead.
I, I also believe a lady has to respect any guy she's in love with. And for ladies, it's not the same thing as respect. Most ladies I've met, they have a list of demands for you to prove your love. They have a list of demands. Some things, some of them say, okay, if I call you, you should be there for me. You should be able to do this. You should be able to do that. You should be able to provide, and some petty stuff. But for me, I believe in respect. Just if you respect me, we would go along. I have no issues. You can tell me whatever is going on with you, and we can come up with a solution. But please, at all times, respect me. And why does the love die? Maybe when you were chasing the girl, you were fit for me, you were fit in shape. She saw you and she was attracted to you being fit. You now have her 2 years later, you're slacking. You stopped working out. You now have the girl of your dreams. The love will depreciate because you're not keeping up. And maybe for a guy, when he met the lady, she was very nice, beautiful. She was always dressing smart, elegant, and eventually she has this guy who is her dream man. She's now slacking off. She's not keeping up anymore. And he's like, what's going on? Eventually, the love starts depreciating, especially when maybe in the case of the guy or the girl, they've told you about it and you've just refused to pay attention to this or that particular detail, what is happening. You're like, okay, I now have him or her, and you don't want to keep up with what you did that attracted them in the first place. The love will definitely die.
Yes, I
All
think,
right, Triple Man. Before you
yes.
come in, uh, what's your name? Marcel. Marcel. First, listen. You came.
Uh,
No, no. This is even though this is we need to. We are helping each other here, so we are not being judgmental. I went back. I wrote down two things you said earlier,
hello.
and when you said
I like it.
when you mentioned that you mentioned care and pay attention. So how would you factor in your
Yeah.
position that when you ask the woman to jump, she has to jump, and if she doesn't jump, it's not for you. How do you reconcile that with your caring attitude? You
My
mentioned
caring
care
attitude.
and paying attention. I wrote it down. You just jumped back
This
at me again.
I would say before I answer your question, I would say this is actually a judgmental question.
No, no,
This is
no,
a
no, no.
question. No, I would say this is a
It is
question of
what
my
you said.
character. Of
You
course,
said if you
of
care for
of
that person.
yes, of course. If a guy loves a lady and he actually cares, he would pay attention. The little details would definitely matter.
Okay.
I don't
So
know about the other guys in the video, but in the
so
group, but
would
I
you
know that
care to okay, would you care to know why she says she's not going to jump?
now that's a better question. You shouldn't
Okay.
just you
All right.
you
All
assumed
right. Okay.
you assumed
Okay.
that I am inconsiderate and I am not paying attention. I'm just telling her to.
Okay. But I went by what you said. Now I have clarified the
You
question.
assumed. You
Okay.
assumed.
I have clarified the question. Would you care if she says she cannot jump?
If you pay attention and you know what is happening, you will definitely at some point know what is best. And if you tell her what is best and she does not want to take it,
Okay, I am going to grill you on this with due respect.
yeah,
I ask
yeah,
you a
no,
question. The
I'm
question
open.
is, would you care to know why she cannot jump?
I am not a dictator. Definitely, I would.
And after knowing fully well why she said she cannot jump, will you be understanding?
I am also not an autocrat. I will
So,
tell you why it is in your best interest for you to jump. And if you choose not to, fine.
I think this is a matter of semantics. I
all
think
right.
it's the expression of what he meant, because he also
Mr. Electricity is just trying to get me on
I'm trying
something I am not.
I'm trying to understand his perspective, of the whole thing. Because now let me say something. When does love die? I think Ismiri was right the first time when she said that if it was love, it wouldn't die. But we still understand what the Blackstone meant as well, because let's say you met a girl, and first of before I explain this, you must understand that every man has his kind of a woman. Every woman has her kind of a man. There are some men who like them big and fat. There are some men who like them, like model, skinny. There are some men who different. So men has their own kind of a woman. And now you find this your very type of a woman that appeals to you. In fact, you've never dated a woman that is not in that on that bracket, and then you started engaging her, you started her being friends, and eventually you end up marrying her. There were things that attracted you to her.
In the
Maybe it's the
first
way
place.
she used to wear heels, the way she used to wear minis, the way she dresses. Those are the little things that can make a man make a choice on a woman. And then, okay, this particular man, Mr. A, used to like a girl that is, not too big, not too fat, a girl that like wear heels, that wear, trousers and minis and things like that. And then Mr. A ended up dating this girl, ended up marrying her. But somewhere along the line, the moment the woman had a baby one comes, baby two comes, and she becomes Mama Ibeji. And then you find that now she wears wrappers, now she doesn't wear heels anymore. She becomes a full-time mama. And that doesn't mean that she can't be mama, but as a woman, you have to always be your husband's girl, things like that, as long as she's pleased with the way you dress and things like that. So the moment that changes takes place in that relationship, that feelings will start to die somehow, and that makes some men to do things they shouldn't do as well. Vice versa, the same way with the other one, on the side of a woman. The woman likes tall guys, some like them tall, some like them, flat. You have a guy who is not that fat, and then the moment they marry, then few months or a year, 2 years down the line, the pot belly is like a 6 months pregnant woman. That woman might start losing that affection, that she once had on that man. So these are things that should be worked on from, on both sides of the
On
people.
both sides.
So, yeah, so these are the things. And another thing that people may not easily admit or agree with when it comes to love dying in a relationship is this. You see, money, most times when money finishes, love dies. If it doesn't matter how you see it. It might sound a little. I'm telling you, most times the issues of money brings some. Okay. Let me leave that. Why I say that Marseille may have some point that it might be semantics is this. You electricity. You've always quoted some scriptures here, and I would like to quote one. And in relation, in direct answer to this, the Bible says in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22, I think from verse 21, let me say from verse 22, it says there, wives, submit yourselves to your husbands as unto the Lord. It talks about submission. It didn't say, wives, love your husbands. And now, what did God says to the men? This is one of the one because it is
I
not.
am listening. Hold on one second. No. I'm not stopping you.
Okay.
Somebody is trying to join. Supreme, you're trying to join the platform. You have to give permission to your video, your camera, and your microphone for you to be able to join. That's why you are not getting connected to come on the platform. I'm sorry, Triple Man, for it. It's been going on, so I just need to let
it's
him know.
right.
I'm listening, so I'll just disappear from the background and come back again. But I'm listening. Go ahead.
That's why you're the moderator. It's allowed. Okay. So when it comes to the issue of love, God didn't actually say that the woman should love the man. God says that the man, like in verse 25, I think, of that particular scripture, he says, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. So that gives you the answers to what makes every marital relationship work. If these two people, according to the scriptures, these two positions that God has given on the scriptures is held in every marriage, that marriage will last. And that is why our grandparents and our parents, our old parents, had relationships without divorces and things like that. Because why? The mother, the wife rather, is submissive. When it comes to the woman, God says, submit yourself to your husband. And that's why Marseille was talking about respect. No man can keep a disrespectful woman. You see that? And no woman can accept to stay with a man that doesn't have affection or love for her. You see that? Because they are two different human beings. They are wired differently. You see, if a woman wants to have everything that she wants from the man, all she needs to do is just
respect the man.
That respect. You doesn't need love. The man doesn't need love from the woman. What the man needs from the woman is that respect. And that's why the Bible says here in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 22, it says, wives, submit yourselves to your husband. And then it says to the husbands, love your wives. So why didn't the Bible says to the man, submit yourself to each other, or says to, the woman, love your husbands? Because if the man can get submission according to the scriptures from that woman, he will automatically love her. He will love, that love will automatically flow. All the man wants in a relationship is respect. And if he can get it, you will see that love flow. And if you show a woman love enough as the man, then you will see that submission also there.
She will always respect you.
Yes, she will respect you. Yes, is so to say.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Black Triple Man. I thought I was going to bring this show to an end, but you just, I'll come to you in similarly. If I get you correctly, please correct me. Okay. When you reference to the scripture, Ephesians chapter 5, the woman should submit. Nowhere it said that the woman should love the man. Am I correct in that? Am I quoting you right?
Yes, there the Bible says that women submit yourselves. Then in verse 25, it says to the man, love your wives. You see, it says, women, wives, submit yourself to your husbands. And then it says, husbands, love your wives. In other words, if the woman submit herself to the man, that's in other words showing that respect. If he's there in the house, the man automatically will show and express love. And if the woman can get that love from the man, that submission will be there. So it takes the two to play.
Let me read some comments out from Deborah and Faz Love. Some of the things that kills love are betrayal of trust, not keeping promise, distance, breaking communication, not meeting personal demand, and not caring whether she is sexually satisfied. For fast love, you say love is diminishing return. You can't always appreciate something some way. Same way it was new. Understanding friendship and patience is what keep people going after a while. Now, back to you, Triple Man. You see, over the years, we've been made to believe that the man only should love the man is required to love and the woman is required to submit or whatever it is, which is correct, but this is my thought, and I will tell you that the Bible is a balance. It balances itself. Okay, I'm going to read from you from Titus chapter 2, where he said, from verse 1, I'm going to read verse 4, that says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. So the scripture is balanced. Now, I can understand the aspect of respect. We need to define what respect is first to be able to know what the woman is respecting. There is also love is from both parties. From reading Ephesians and now reading Titus, meaning that the man should and the woman equally also should as well.
A minute interjection, just a second.
Go ahead.
You know, when you look at the scriptures, the word, of course, the New Testament was originally written in Greek and was translated to English. So sometimes you need to understand the Greek meaning of a particular word that were used in English as the same. For example, love. In the Bible, in the New Testament, they have about 3 to 4 meanings, different meanings. You find love that is called agape, which means the very love of God, the kind of love God has for man, the God way kind of love. And then you find the one that is called Philadelphia. Philadelphia.
Okay, sorry. I think we will. Hold on one second.
Okay, sir. Okay, this is hold on first. Let me ask you a question.
Don't let us. Okay, go ahead.
Wait, can you now differentiate the love in First Corinthians that is quoted and the type of love in Titus? Can you explain that?
No, what I'm trying to clarify.
No, I mean triple man.
Triple man. No, before it goes, I don't want us to go on that tirade.
Love it is what the Bible, what type of Hebrew word that was used to express those two.
Okay, gentlemen.
Phileo. What was used on Ephesians was phileo. Phileo is a Greek word for love that means, translated in English, it means feelings. Phileo is different from agape and is different from Philadelphia. This Philadelphia you're hearing as a state in US the word is love. It's a Greek word that is love, and that is called brotherly love. The kind of love that a brother and sister should have, like in a church kind of settings. You know, that is brotherly love. That is Philadelphia. Then you find agape love. You find phileo. Phileo is the emotions, the feelings. You see, that is what you find. So
that's what I wanted to ask you. Following to next question to my something, right?
Titus was agape, yes, because it's related to children there.
Yes, excuse me, sir.
Children.
Yes, wait. How can you now respect what you don't love? How can you submit to what you don't love?
In terms
Let
of,
me
can I
hold on
answer
one
that?
second. Triple man,
This
you
question.
said Titus is referencing to children. Did you read it? Titus chapter 2, I read
No,
just
no, you
verse
don't.
4. That they may teach the young women to be sober,
Yes.
to love their husbands. Is there? Do you read that
Oh,
part?
okay. Now I had it well. I had it
Okay.
properly.
So
So
that is what I'm trying to say, that over the years we have been taught this. I'm sorry to use a word that I'm not supposed to use, or I shouldn't use. We have been taught this, given this ideology or this doctrine that women are only meant to submit and men are meant to love each other. So it is not, no, the scripture balances itself, it never contradicts itself. So there in Titus, it said women also should love their husband. Okay, so it's both ways. It both ways. Respect also is reciprocal. Yes, I can understand that aspect of respect you are referring to in terms of the woman respect. I can really understand that, and I know it comes in a lot of ways. But let me throw a spanner into the wheel before we round it up. Would you say that Sarah listening to Abraham to tell Abimelech that she is his sister is respect or an act of stupidity?
it is not at all. By the way, Abraham didn't lie there. He didn't lie. We know that according to the scripture, Sarah was a very beautiful woman, and Abraham knew that on getting to Egypt, that she will be taken away and he will be killed. You see, so Abraham now asks Sarai to if they ask you, say that I am your brother and you are my sister. And why? Because people say that, okay, why did Abraham lied? Abraham didn't lie, because why? Sarai was actually his sister. They are
Okay,
bloodly related.
sir,
So
respectfully, I what for the fact that they are married, they are already married, meaning that they've gone beyond that aspect of brother and sister. My question is, Sarah's act of listening, obeying Abraham, for her to lie that she is his sister, that could have led to Abimelech defiling her. The question is that respect or stupidity?
That is
it is
respect.
respect. It is respect. It is respect. And like I said, however way you want to put it, the fact remains that Abraham is a bloodly related relation
There
to
is,
Sarah.
well,
But then
that is
they
not,
married at
that
the
is not
time.
the dispute. That is not the
Yes,
issue. That is not the issue here.
so Abraham
Okay,
So
didn't
this,
the
lie.
issue is this.
He
Okay,
didn't lie.
let me
He
put out
so
my
didn't
own.
lie.
Let
you
me put
said
my
it's
opinion.
respect.
Excuse me. Let me
Hold
put
on,
my
I'm
opinion.
coming. Let
Okay.
me. You said it's respect. So the question I will
Yes.
put to you again is, would you put your wife in such a position?
Of course, if such a situation emanates, we're talking about life here, because if Abraham didn't say that, he would have been killed. You see that, and when they eventually tried it on, of course, let's look at it the other way around. You must know that Abraham, being a man, was a man of faith, and he knew that God is with him. This is a man who spoke with God face to, like, ear to mouth, kind of thing, and he knew that God would always, protect him, or one way or the other. He must have been guided by the Spirit to be able to say that. And the moment they tried to touch Sarah, at the moment of them trying to do that thing, God said, if you touch her, I kill you.
Okay,
And
so let me ask you a question, sir.
that was diffused
Okay, no,
immediately.
let me ask you a question, sir. That in now what you just said now, that if they wanted to touch Sarah, God would have struck them, right? So if Abraham have told Abimelech the truth, would God not have intervened?
That's a very good question. Go ahead, Mr. Tripleman. You put yourself in this position. I have
Of
16
course, of
questions
course,
I want
of
to. I
course.
have 16 questions I want to ask.
God, listen, God would have also still intervened. Because you see, sometimes the way God think is not the way man think. Look at the story that we all know about Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You see, God even allowed them to the point of them being thrown inside a burning fire. Why didn't God, destroy everybody before the time? Before they were able to be thrown into the fire. But right there in the midst of the fire, they were still saved.
Okay, well, I
Yes,
think
sir.
So you
that
never know exactly what would have been the mind of God at that point in time.
all right, Isimile, let's give this Isimile the floor. Isimile, go ahead.
It's good for a woman to love the man, and the man, or a man to love the woman, and the woman give the man respect. But respect should be reciprocal in a
Of
sense,
course.
that what we call respect, especially in Nigeria, the way men treat women, I call disrespect.
Not all men. Oh, let's
Right, so
be
I'm saying some. Okay, some,
uh-huh.
not all. I'm sorry, I'm not generalizing now. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, because you need to treat someone as you wish to be treated. I know the Bible is correct. I'm not going in that direction now, but I'm saying, imagine you have a daughter and a man keeps telling her to jump. Okay, I'm traveling with you. I seize your passport. You have to do this. There are things happening out there. But they can classify that as love. Who are you to question a man like that? Say, well, I have paid the bride price. She's my property, and I can deal with her whatsoever I wish. It's wrong. Yeah, you're shaking your head, but it happens. It happens. Like
Yes,
an
it does.
instance of a domestic abuse. Come on, man. You see a man raising a hand, you smash your wife until that woman dies. There are a lot of women that have died by abuse. And I can tell you categorically that those women do not deserve to die in such a disrespectful manner. And I can tell you that those women may have loved their husbands and showed them respect as well. But this is not a minority kind of discussion. It is very rampant in our society. And that is why I'm here to speak out. I am not touring the path of feminism. I'm saying treat someone as you wish to be treated. If you're good to someone,
Anyway,
let
anyway,
me finish, please. If you meet a woman that is crazy, the worst woman on this planet, and you treat that woman right, come on, you'll
yes,
get back.
yes.
There's even a mad person. Come on now, we all have conscience. But when someone wants to show you some respect and you disrespect them and you're asking for respect, but you're always disrespectful, you ain't gonna work. Love, love is not good enough. It's not enough to even take someone to that promised land. It's quite deep. It is deep. There is something they call
Yes.
emotional maturity, psychological maturity, and to come to that level of understanding where both of you are psychologically and emotionally matured to hold conversation in a place whereby a man you can still humble yourself and listen to your woman, whether she's a rag or whatever. And as well, I don't believe that most relationships, when money finish, love is finished. No, it depends. That's why sometimes human beings, whether man or woman, how you make your bed, you lie on it. Money, can come and go. It doesn't matter which hand it touches first. But when the love is there and you're showing me that love and then not disrespecting, why won't I share the garden money with you? Of course, I will give it to you and say, take my bank account, do whatever you like with it. But disrespect is what I cannot stand. In as much as men want to be respected, I, for one, I am no taker of disrespect. That is the line. I'm sure I'm speaking for a lot of women. They may not voice it out because of our the shame of going out of matrimony. You see, women stay in marriage because, like the Igbo culture, once you're married, you stay there. You don't want to leave, even if your husband pounds you like pounded yam, use you as
No,
a
no, no.
sexual object, impregnate you at your own disadvantage, even knowing that you have medical condition and because he wants baby. Come on, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying women, how dare you speak. We need to speak out so that you gentle, handsome men that we are proud of, we begin to see the way what we think. Maybe perhaps it will help younger generations to form a stable relationship. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
One
Okay.
second, Mr. Blackstone. I'll
Okay.
come to you. Let me just quickly say something. Mr. Tripleman, I respect your opinion, but when I ask the question that would you put your wife in that position, I stand to be corrected. You say that yes, with the circumstances, if the circumstances present itself, you will put her in that position. Am I quoting you right?
What my answer meant was, if I was in Abraham's position at that point in time, being Abraham, I will do the same.
All right. Thank you very much. I would like to tell you this of my personal opinion. If you can retract it for the sake of your wife that you love, please do. Uh, Abraham's life was not in danger in any shape or form. He has a choice to go somewhere else. Okay. Two, uh, we his action from commentary, even though nobody was there, we don't know how God dealt with him. But from commentary said, from what I read, that Abraham would be very bitter and disappointed at himself because you also highlighted that, just like what Mr. Blackstone said, that God is equally capable of saving him or protecting him if he stay on the path of truth. Now, if you also listen to Abimelech, read Abimelech's comment, Abimelech actually challenged God in that regard because Abimelech said, even both, it was twice it happened, challenged God and said, out of the integrity of my heart, I took her because he said she is my sister. That's what I'm saying. Yes, they may be related. However, they've crossed that boundary of brothers and sisters. They are now husband and wife. That is why God intervened. If they were just brothers and sisters, in what your argument is, there'll be no point for God to intervene. In fact, God will be happy that Abraham's sister has gotten a wife as a person in the person of Abimelech, who is a king. So we need to put things in perspective that his action there was wrong. Now we don't know how God dealt with him for telling that lie or for putting her in that position. And no woman should be put in that position. Because if you're saying because Abraham's life was not at risk, was not at risk at all. He could go somewhere else.
Listen, no. He couldn't have gone somewhere else because there was a reason why Abraham had to go to Egypt at that point in time. There was famine, there were
Okay,
drought, there were
okay,
difficulties everywhere, and
so lack of faith.
in the mind of justice, Abraham didn't lie. Abraham didn't lie
All right,
because in the
Yes.
mind of
we
justice,
will.
Sarai remains, even though Sarai was his wife, but Sarai also
Triple
was
man, triple
his
man.
sister's
I
wife.
think I
Don't,
think Abraham lacked faith at that moment. Abraham, Bible says Abraham was a friend of God. Anything he
yeah,
asked from God, God will
God
give
will
it
give
to
in.
him. As a friend of God, you understand
And
me?
that
So
period,
at that moment, Abraham was like he lost faith because probably I've heard the stories of Abimelech or something. I don't know, right? But I guess he lost faith. You made a reference to the three Hebrew men that was thrown in the burning furnace. That was faith, and they said that they will not
if they
compromise.
don't save them, they
Wait,
will still, yes.
wait now. They said they will not compromise. They will not bow to any other god, and they know that the God they serve will deliver them from the hand
Yes.
of Nebuchadnezzar. That is faith.
However, they went further, saying even if the God
He doesn't,
God did not
yes.
God
even
deliver
deliver them.
them.
So we need to we don't what I don't want us to do is to justify or to say evil wrong is right and right is wrong. That is what the part I don't want us to tread. He was wrong for saying go and tell so that you will save you will spare his life. No, so let's just imagine for once there was no intervention. What do you think would have happened? Just for once that there was no intervention.
She would have become the wife of the king now, wife of
That is it.
Yeah.
And he will regret it for the rest of his life.
Anyway, Mr. Electricity, let me go to another point. One thing I have to do that one passage in the Bible, one I always recommend to everybody. If you want to know the person that have a true love for you, let the person go and read 1 Corinthians 13 from verse 4 to 13. I call it the principle, the guidelines of true love. You see everything there, you will understand it. And for everybody in courtship or dating a guy, dating a girl, once you put those words of Paul into context, I use it to assess the person you are going out with, even in marriage, right? If those things are not there, if they are missing, one is going away, one is going down, you know that marriage, that love is heading to shipwreck. We all know that passage. Everybody should read that passage. 1 Corinthians 13 from verse 4 to 13, or from verse 4 to 12. Right?
You know, the scripture you're talking about was talking about charity.
Charity is love now. Charity is love. What are we going to?
I want to make a point. When the English word uses the word for love, we know that charity is for love. We must understand which one, because the Bible is talking about agape. And what you're pointing at here is the true love. This charity in Hebrew, in Greek, original Greek manuscript is referring to agape. Agape is a God kind of love. The kind of love that if you have it, that is the true love. There is not every other love, but that one is God kind of love. Because you see, what is God kind of love? Is a love whereby even if you offended me, I forgive you. Even if you try to kill me,
why I said that. That's why I said this. That's why I go and read that 1 Corinthians 13. Read it very well. From verse, read it. It is there that love forgive all things. It is even written there.
That is the true love, because people don't know exactly what love really is. But the scripture you're pointing at, I'm in support of what you're saying. I'm in support of what you're saying.
Now understand your point.
The scripture you are pointing at that is where you get the true love, because this love here, you can have it and still relate with your friends, your business associates, your children, your wife, your husband. That is the real love of God that every human person should have at heart. It's a love that is found in the heart, not in the head. You see that? And once you have this very kind of love, every other love that having to do with feelings, affections, emotions, care will now come in. Yeah.
So I call it the Hall of Fame of love. So
yes,
it's very important.
All right. Let's start our submission. I'll start with Isimile as we bring the broadcast to an end. But before you go ahead, Isimile, Blackstone made we skip some points that but I think we should come up as a topic on a different broadcast. I picked some things from everybody, so I'll try to put it together and to have it. The issue of the impotency, we didn't dwell much. We didn't go much on it. It's very important, and the issue that is similarly also highlighted, we didn't dwell on it. So, but it will come up on probably on another day, and I don't know when that will be, but it's gonna come up. So we will do Masai your video. Okay, we will do our submission now. So I am gonna start with this similar to Masai, to Triple Man, and to Blackstone, in the context of the subject matter that we just discussed on. Thank you very much. I hear the floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Electricity, and thank you, panelists. It's actually lovely to come here and have um,
Simile, before you go ahead, someone said if you can't die for the one you love, then you don't love them.
so practice what you preach.
That
That
is
was
true love.
We will leave it to another day. Okay.
come on here to actually help us educate us more about how to die for love. Okay, thank you. My final submission for this evening is that I I do believe that every human wants things, and what their wants differ from one another, be it a man or a woman. As some would say, jump, and the woman would say, how high? Even if I break my right leg and lose my womb, I ain't gonna have a son on that road for you. Then I'll be out of the door. That would be second wife from your family members driving me out and say I'm not pregnant. Actually, they didn't ask why that womb was lost in the first place because I had to jump high to please my husband. And I'm trying to say, would you rather have a wife who has an open mind, to actually ask you why you want me to jump in such a way, and then you agree that in a healthy way, okay? But when there is a self-serving manner or mannerism that dominates the argument, being very unhealthy by the sign of control. Because there's a fine line between control and respect. When that line is being crossed and is detrimental to that relationship by saying, if I tell you to jump and you don't jump, we're done, then I would question that love to say, perhaps if there is due regard for the other person's feelings, if I have regard for your feelings, and take consideration and thoughtfulness to agree, come to a point of agreement for balance so that we can forge ahead, even though it may displease me, but that would make you happy. It's not a huge sacrifice for someone to make if there is true love there. But then it's when there is a control, draw that line of that control on a healthy, domineering, self-serving manner coming from one side, that relationship will never work. The man will never be satisfied, regardless of how many times he's told the woman to jump. That's my contribution. Please keep loving one another. One love. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you. Marcel, your floor is yours.
Everybody jumping on my when I tell a lady to jump. The truth is, love is never enough. Love is never going to be enough. For men, okay, let me start with the ladies. For ladies, she would love you, but she also has to respect you. For guys, beyond you being a wealthy guy and being able to provide for your family, one of the most important, in fact, the most important thing as a guy, once you've attained the status of provision, you can do everything for your woman. The most important thing is discipline. If you're disciplined, most marriages will not end. If you're disciplined, you'll be able to say no to so many things. If you're disciplined, you'll be able to know that I'm getting fat, I need to hit the gym, or I need to change how I eat. I need to keep looking attractive for my wife. So I think for men, you love and you also need to be disciplined. For women, they love you and they also need to respect you. Love is not just enough. So then in reference to when I tell a lady to jump, me telling you to jump is not for it's not in my own interest. It could be for yours. I had this argument with a friend and I was telling them after my wife gives birth, I can chill for a year. You can eat, get fat. That's not a problem. But you have to be conscious. After that 1 year, 16 months that you've given birth, you have to know that I need to still look attractive for my husband. That is where I tell you to jump. Be disciplined. Discipline yourself. Eat properly. Stop giving into silly traits like you eat chocolate, you want to eat. No, you need to look good for me as your husband. Same goes for the lady too. If she sees something she does not like, she can just tell me that, hey babe, this thing is not good. Can you change? It's not a dictatorship. We can talk. But the most important thing is when I have told you what is good for you, not just you, me and you should be able to do it. And if you can't do it, of course, the love will depreciate. So that's my
Thank
two
you
cents.
for your submission and the clarification. So let us all stop jumping on Marseille's triple man. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for today's discussion. It's quite a rich one, and I really would want us to have this again. And I also have some little expose with regards to um, issues that has to do with the sizes and all of that. So, like you mentioned earlier, that things we need to discuss next time. Okay. So, well, what I want to say in conclusion is that before you are a woman, before you are a girl, before you are a wife, you are a human being. Before you're a man or that boy or that husband, you're a human being. So we should treat each other with that God's kindness. We should go for the very love of God because that is the love that stands. That is the love that stays. Every other thing fails, you know. And in issues with regards to relationships, I believe that uh, people don't wake up in one morning and say, "I'm going to divorce God. I want out of this relationship." It should have been accumulation of past events that are unpleasant, things that has come to bottleneck, whereby the lady or the guy wouldn't take it anymore. And to avoid that, I think it's important sometimes try to have discussions. Sometimes such discussions ends up in argument in some cases, in many cases. And to avoid that argument, sometimes write them down. Ask the guy, come together to say, in order for us to have peace in this home, can you write like 10 things that I do as a man in this house that you don't like as my wife? And then she will write 10 things that she does that you as the man may not like in this relationship. Those are the things that she may not easily say to you, and those are the things you may not even say to her. And these are the things that could accumulate into a bottleneck that end up breaking the relationship. But if those things could be written down, and I mean to say 10 things the woman that does that that the man doesn't like, and then 10 things or 7 things, 5 things, it doesn't matter the numbers, that vice versa does that each other doesn't like, put it down in writing, give it to one another, then work on those things, because those are the facts. And you should work on those things based on the fact that you want peace. You want peace in the relationship. And in so doing, you're able to work on those things, and then you have that peace at home. So, and I think that things should be discussed in issues of bedroom relationship should also discuss. Find out if you're happy with what is happening, things that is going on. That satisfaction has to be balanced, you know. So that's one thing I want to say. And in conclusion, the point remains that as the woman, if you respect him, it doesn't matter anybody's view. This is law of nature and it has been there. If you respect the man will love you. If you as the man love the woman enough, and she will respect you. So, but the Bible knows why it starts with the woman saying, "Women, submit yourselves to your husbands," you know, and men, love your wife. That doesn't mean that, because love is reciprocal. So that's it goes like that. And when it comes to that submission, if you read the previous verse before that, verse 22, it says, "Submit yourself one to another." You see, so you find that it connotes to each other, and it works like that. So that's my take for tonight. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. In the next broadcast on this topic, on this issue, we will really go into that issue of respect because it needs to be properly defined and fleshed out. So, because if we are saying respect, then we need to really flesh it out because so that it will not be perceived as oh, anything he says goes and stands. No, we need to really look, and I really wish the women will come on this platform uh, to help us to get things right. So, but I will
Probably next time
again.
should
All
be
right.
on, well, now should be on Saturday, whereby they are not
Um,
working.
there's always a program on Saturday,
Yeah,
so
maybe after the program, the main program. Right.
okay, I will have a discussion with Rudolph in that regard. I will sit down and I will ask him to watch this. I'll tell him it's a mandatory for him to watch this broadcast so that he can have his opinion and if to know how we go forward from here. So, Mr. Blackstone, the floor is yours. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I want to thank you.
Before you go, I need to read what Obiuche said. Also, Deborah said, "Well done, the one lady on board. Thanks for all your points. Love you, Lord." Obiuche said, "In summary, effective communication and good listening skills for both parties, not dictatorship on one party." So the floor is yours, Blackstone.
Thank you, Mr. Electricity, and for bringing up this topic. And this topic is very, very important, and it is a thing that everybody talks about today. All right. Before I would like to read the book of First Corinthians chapter 13 from verse 4. Right? He said, "Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps not record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hope, and always persevere." So that's where I will stop. So that is the full. These are the full article or full attribute. I will say love is like a packet. It's like a bus. Every other things are inside, right? I know that love is one of the most greatest thing in the world. If we know what it means and if we know how to put it in practice. In marriage, in friendship, in living together, love is the key to peace. Love is the key to oneness. Love is everything. So bringing it now to marriage, to relationship, let's know that if there's no trust, there's love is not there. If you cannot trust your partner, that love is lacking. If you lie to your partner, that love is not there. If you are a pompous person, a proud man or a proud woman, you cannot love and you cannot also find love. And one of those things that create problems in relationship, in marriage, is the pride. That is why I always say that before we go into marriage relationship, there must be a proper open communication. All issues that you know should be put on the table. You should be able to discuss these things. And where there are disagreement, if you cannot iron it out and find a point of an agreement, that person is not for you. Love is not by beauty. Love is not by weight. Marriage do not come with those things. There's a general saying that true love it is unconditional. So love that will lead to your marriage, to be with your partner, to be with somebody, be with a man or a woman, that love should be unconditional. Like Master said, if you love a man, or a woman that was slim, beauty, elegant, and now she had her first child and she blew off. I know there are people like that. Once they have their first child, they blow up. So what will you do? Will you now begin to insult the woman? Will you now begin to force her to go back what she wear before? Because that is nature, that is the body system. That's the body chemistry of that woman, right? What about men? When you meet them, they have flat tummy. When they are growing old, they are having their tummy is coming out. What will you do? So these are some issues. As I said, love should be unconditional. Love should not be based on anything. Love should be based from your heart, right? I know it is good to see some things before you go into marriage relationship, and those things should be intangible. It could be the character, it could be the person intelligence, it could be how the person respects you, how the person values you no matter what you are. So there are many intangible things. Love should come from the heart and it should go to the heart of the other person, not because of what you want. I know sometimes the first expression we see that attract us is the facial expression. And let's learn or let's know how to differentiate love and lust. Most lust today is confusing, is taken to be love, but not really love. So lust is let me get what I want because this person has what I want. It's my type of person. Is he or she is tall? He's having a good figure, so on and so forth. That is not love, because love should be based on unconditional reasons.
Thank you very
So
much.
that's my submission. Thank you.
Thank you. In my submission, I would like to buttress what will be said. That will be my submission. Is the shortest one. In summary, effective communication and good listening skills for both parties. That is my own submission, gentlemen. I would like to thank you, particularly the lady. Was on Isimile again. Mr. James is actually is in the background listening to us. Mr. James, I would like to thank you as well too. He's been on the background since he didn't go. Like I said, I'm going to ask Rodolphe to listen to this message, this broadcast, and we're going to talk more on it and going forward. I appreciate you guys once again. Those in the comment section, I also thank you for your comment. I may not have read everyone or highlighted everyone's comment because as it comes in at times I can't follow it at times. So that is the reason. Triple Man, thank you very much. Also, Masaya, you're welcome. We've taken a correction that you're not gonna ask any woman to jump. So, Obiuchi, I saw your message, but we will take it next time. Not if we continue with this chat system, we're not going to leave here. But what he is asking is, can we love someone without a good behavior or character? That is a
Yes,
very good
I'll
question.
give a short answer. Yes,
No,
because
Masaya, we will deal with this next time. We're all giving our submission. We need to close for the night. It's 3 hours. It's almost 3 hours, 30 minutes now. Once again, thank you as we bring the broadcast to an end. Have a lovely weekend and God bless
yes,
you.
thanks. Yeah, God bless you.